All right, what's up, everybody? Oh, yeah. Or since it's we're all tonguing here. Hey, what's up, everybody? Let me just go live on Instagram. Give me 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. All right. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another session of the Kava podcast After Dark session, live out of San Francisco. We got some Tongan girls here tonight, and the main topic of discussion, we're going to talk about dating and relationships, being Tongan and Samoan. So that's why the topic tonight is dating Tongans and Samoans be like. So that's gonna be our main focus. So you guys who watch my channel, you guys know I'm Tongan as well. So we're gonna be focusing on that for tonight. But we have a great show planned for you guys as always. If you guys see value in the content, thank you so much. You guys already know what to do. Smash that like and subscribe button real quick to support the channel. Don't forget, this is a virtual public show. A lot of you guys always reach out to me. How do I join the show? You're not from the Bay Area. You can join by being a supporting member of my locals. The link is below on the description on YouTube. Come over to YouTube if you're watching this from other channels and platforms, and you will be able to get that link and jump on with us on the last hour of the pod after 9 p.m. California time. All right, but as always, thank you so much. If you're watching this right now, get that live chat popping. Let me know what you guys think. Always like to hear your feedback on your thoughts and opinions about the things that we discuss on this panel. And of course, if you have any specific questions or topics, ask it through a super chat, and I'll be able to respond to you guys as a panel. And of course, just donate to the channel, drop it through a super chat, and we'll be able to respond to you guys as always. But thank you so much for everybody always supporting the channel. And quick shout out to my sponsors, Global Financial Impact. If you're looking for financial services, definitely reach out to them. If you're looking to set up a college fund for your kids, life insurance, financial independence, and literacy, reach out to Savannah and her team, and they'll be able to help you guys out, whatever your need is. So all their information as well is on the description below on YouTube, and you can reach out to them as always. But that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all my YouTube stuff. We have another great show planned for you guys. And Itaisa, Salah, thank you guys for making the time to be part of the pod. All right, but I'll pass it to you guys if you guys don't mind. If you want to give yourself a quick intro for everybody out there, then we'll go ahead and get the discussion started.
Hey everyone, this is Thaisa. I'm Tongan. I'm 26 years old. I am a behavioral therapist and status is single. Okay, looking for marriage. Be serious. Okay, Malo. What you're looking for? Oh yeah, I already mentioned that. But yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Thaisa.
Hey everyone, my name is Salah. I'm Tongan and Samoan. I'm 25. My job, I'm a student. I'm trying to get my degree, and status is single.
Okay, what are you looking for, Salah?
That's a great question. Just a good person. No crazy sisters or mom.
All right. Okay, thank you so much, Salah. Thaisa, thank you so much. Pasiato. I gotta give you guys a round of applause for making the time for coming on the pod for tonight. Yeah, we're gonna be focusing on Tongan and Samoans. You know, if you guys watch my channel, you guys know that's where I'm from. I'm Tongan, grew up in Tongan, came out here to America. So for this episode, I just wanted to focus on the panel where we could just talk about dating as Tongans and Samoans, and that's gonna be the focus for tonight. So I do see Celia on the live chat. Celia, I definitely know you're Tongan from your name. So Celia, let me know what you think, Celia. What do you think about the experience of trying to date as Tongan Samoans today in America in 2024? But nevertheless, I do appreciate you guys for always tuning in. Thank you for the great introductions. We're gonna go ahead and get some Kava going, and we'll get it started. Celia's like, yes, sir. All right. Okay, we got some. All right. Okay. All right. So always when we always drink the kava, we always want to offer some words of endearment towards each other. And then I had a proverb I wanted to say, but I can't remember right now. But it was in Tongan. But I'll come back to it. But my word of endearment, as always, it's something that I always remember because we're all Tongans here. We all know how to speak Tongan. And one thing that I always remember from my grandma, she would always say when I moved to America, "Oa muingalo." Just never forget where you guys come from, where you come from. So I know a lot of times when we come to America, we can forget where we're from, our tradition, our culture, what makes us Tongan. So that's something. Don't get whitewashed. All right. But yeah, that's something I always think about every single time coming here. I love America. I love the experience. I love the opportunity. I'm here. I'm afforded. Sometimes I think about back home. So my words of endearment to everybody out there is never forget where you come from. And that's what Oa muingalo means in Tongan. So that's my words of endearment to everybody. So I'll pass it to you, Idaisa.
All right. So I guess my words of endearment is oh shit. Ko otua motonga, ko tofia. Yeah, that's that is. I guess that's the word of endearment, right? And also love you guys. And yeah, let's have a good podcast.
Okay. Otua motonga ko tofia. You just come up.
You already know.
You just came up with a random.
No, that's the same, right? That's
Yeah.
the same. Ko tonga mo.
Otua motonga ko tofia. Yeah, right. All right. So you know what that means, right? Otua motonga ko tofia.
God in Tonga is my inheritance.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Amen to
Okay.
that.
All right. For sure. All right. Still got it. All right. Thank you so much, Idaisa, and I pass it to you, Sala.
My words of endearment. Everyone, I don't know. Just love on the ones who love on you, and always keep them close. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I had to fact check her, Jerk. I had to fact check her just to make sure she was telling the truth. But it was there. It was there. It was close. But thank you so much, Sala. Thank you, Idaisa. Thank you so much. And ofatu, y'all. Ofatu, everybody. Ofatu. All right. All right. All right. Thank you so much as always. I know you don't. I appreciate you guys always watching the show. All the Kava drinkers out there drinking tonight. Make sure you guys go home to your wives after you guys drink.
Yeah.
But shout out to you guys.
Please.
Yeah. Please don't flirt with the doas. All right. Go home to your wife. Okay. And then if you're hella old, you should go home. If you're a grandpa, go home. You shouldn't be at the Kalapu right now on the Saturday night. Basilia said, "Oh, wai lawe kafo guy lava." Oh, okay. All right. She got some. Thank you so much, Celia. But as always, thank you so much. We had appreciate you guys watching in. I see Lord Punisher, the sophisticated jerk. I see Zach Long D. Okay. And then I appreciate you guys. All right. Thank you so much for everybody out there for always tuning in. Yeah, Rick, on this show tonight, we're just gonna focus on dating as Tongans, Samoans. That's gonna be the main focus for tonight, and we have a great show planned for you guys. All right, but nevertheless, we'll go right into it. Don't forget to, if you do want to jump on, become a supporting member and be part of the show. Jump on, become the link is in the description on YouTube. And if you want to drop a super chat, drop it and respond to any question or topics for us as a panel, drop it to a super chat, and we'll be able to respond to you guys. But I do appreciate you guys as always, and offer to everybody that's watching this, all the Tongans out there, Samoans out there. But we'll go right into it. I'll have a video I'm gonna play real quick, and then I'll allow the ladies to react to it, and then we can go. We have a lot of subtopics we want to discuss tonight, being a Samoan, being a Tongan, what's it like the dating and relationships, especially here in modern society in America in 2024. So this is a video I saw online from some fellas who were just talking about dating, dating Tongans in general. So let me play the clip real quick, and then we'll go right into it.
Interracial dating tips. Since me and Dave are Tongans, we'll cover Tongans. But you want to add some tips?
I'll add some. So all you got to do with a Tongan boy is you feed him, hide your moisturizer. Actually, hide everything.
Hide your moisturizer.
Hide your moisturizer.
Yeah.
They will just come for everything. I'm telling you. Just get used to sending money away to God knows who. Fucking their goldfish's fucking auntie's dogs died, so they're fucking gonna send some money away.
Sending money to some random stranger back home. I can relate to that.
Fifth cousin removed.
Fifth cousin, related to the goldfish. I don't know. Some random person dies every other year. Somebody you've never met in your life. But nevertheless, that was a quick clip. Appreciate you guys for watching. But let me pass it to you guys, Celia. I just said Celia. Salah, that's my fault. All right, so I'll start with you, Salah. As always, thank you for making the time. I'll pass it to you. What's your reaction? What's your reaction to that clip? But also, what's your what's your thoughts on just dating as a Tongan and Samoan in general?
I mean, it's pretty on point what that video is saying. Like, you're always sending money, especially to someone that you don't know. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, is that the main thing you see?
Yeah.
Okay. If you had to point out, like, what's like the top thing that comes to mind that you're trying to date as a Tongan and Samoan?
I think the main thing that comes to mind is like dating outside the culture.
Okay.
Or also having a certain standard set by yourself or family.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So dating outside the culture?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Salah. I'll pass it to you, Itaisa. We just saw that little clip and it was just talking about a lot of things that they were experiencing. But in general, you're Tongan. What's the top thing that comes to mind when that you think that a lot of Tongans go through, especially when you're trying to date today in 2024?
Yeah, well, that I think what he mentioned is something we don't talk about often. I know, like, the kids who grow up here, I think there's such a huge financial burden with like dating within our community, just because like we have to think about their family, like what happens, like the kavengas and things like that, and the funerals and things, and we have to contribute money every single time because it's part of our duty.
Yeah.
Right. And when you date, within the culture, it's like you also have to think about your duty as, coming into that family and what that means. Like, not only are you going to be responsible for on your side of the family show up, but you also have to show up for his family as well, or her family, and man, like, I feel like you just stay broke. Like, you just stay broke. There's always a funeral. There's always a kavenga to give money to. And
Yeah.
it's like, money, like, yeah. But that's something that came into mind watching that. And also, especially dating outside the culture, it's like you have to have like a mutual understanding, help them understand that this is part of the culture. And it's difficult to have that understanding with somebody who is not within the culture, who's not Tongan or who's not Samoan, But yeah, that's just my thoughts.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Let me know what you guys think. Celia, I know you're Tongan, so let me know what you think. I know you're talking on the live chat. Let me know what you think about what's it like. What it'd be like dating as Tongan Samoans today, in 2024. So, but yeah, let's start on those topics that you guys just mentioned. So let's start on the first one that you mentioned, Salah. You mentioned that dating outside the culture. All right. So, do you for both of you guys, do you guys prefer to date within the culture, like, or do you guys are outside the culture? What's your preference?
My preference is either one.
You gotta pick. Preference means you gotta pick.
I mean, I think inside
the culture, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Why would you prefer?
It's just easier
Yeah.
Just like
It's familiar.
Yeah.
Familiarity. Yeah.
And you don't have to
Explain.
always explain
Yeah,
something
that's true.
or have an argument because they don't agree with something or
Yeah.
they're just
What is the biggest thing that you have to explain? Say you date somebody that's outside the culture. What do you think is the thing that's going to cause a lot of breakups that they may never understand because they're outside the culture?
Probably just the money thing.
Yeah, right.
Always,
Sending money back home.
Just sending money to somebody. One thing that I've experienced was just having to do somebody's booties. Like they don't understand. Like if you're sent out to the store a million times a day, like that becomes a problem for some people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The boys.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. And then same question to you. Do you prefer to date within the culture or outside the culture?
This is such a daring question. I prefer to date within the culture just because it's easier. But I feel like that's such a huge excuse. I'm torn because like a part of me wants to date outside of the culture because I don't want that outcome of having to I guess spend money on like Kavengas and stuff like that and deal with that and so a part of me does not want that outcome, which is why I am open to dating outside of the culture.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also this thing where it's like my parents are still alive, right? And they're very much traditional Tongan.
Yeah.
And there's like that pressure to like date within the culture because it's a lot easier for them to understand our culture and why we do things the way we do.
Yeah.
And having, and communicating that is not an issue. Like I feel like it's immediately understood. I don't have to explain myself every time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it doesn't mean that I'm not torn up about it. So I guess, yeah.
So if you had to pick, you would have to pick within the culture.
If I have to pick, I would have to pick within the culture.
Okay.
Because my parents are still alive and breathing, and
Would that change, say, if they weren't here?
If they pass, that is a deep. See, I haven't thought that.
Yeah,
far.
that's why. Yeah.
I haven't thought that far. But okay, let's say I did my thinking and I did my reflection, and let's say they passed. I think a burden would be lifted off, in the sense of like the pressure to stay within the culture. So if they passed, I would be open to dating.
Oh, okay.
Outside of the culture.
So that means you're not. So that means you're more doing it for your parents, but that's not your true desire, like individually.
Yeah, I guess that's fair to say. That I'm more so doing it for my parents, but that's because I think I have a lot of respect for their desires, I guess.
Yeah.
And so for that sake and the sake of peace, because if you're Tongan or like Samoan, your parents is like, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, like I said, I do understand the feeling that we want to do, especially as kids, that we want to make our parents proud. And I get that. I respect that. But at the end of the day, you're going to be with that person, not your parents. Right. So I think for me, my personal experience, oftentimes when we do things just to please other people, it doesn't really last long term.
Yeah, that's true.
Even especially when it comes to dating relationships, because at the end of the day, when you go home, your parents are not going to be there. You're going to have to deal with that person. So if it's not a genuine desire by yourself, I don't think it's going to be a strong relationship if it's not genuine, right? So, but I do understand, because I've had that conversation with a lot of Tongans, my friends and family members. They want to, they do it just because to please their parents. But I think most of the time in their situation, long term, it doesn't work out because it's not genuine. It's not like what you really want. So, But I think that just comes down to communication with your parents. I think sometimes as Tongans, we're not really good at communicating. And I think if you have I know some Tongans can be very stubborn and they can be very, when it comes to expectations, they can be very stubborn on how they want you to live the things that they put on you. But I think if you just sit them down and just have a real genuine conversation and just tell them, look, I know you want me to date a Tongan because I know you want us to keep the culture, traditions, but I generally don't want to date within the culture. I want to date outside the culture. I found this person I really want to be with. And then, and I think that sometimes there's gonna be some price to pay sometimes. I think if they totally disagree, but I think if your parents really love you and they really care about you, they may be stubborn up front.
Yeah.
I think my parents were the same way, but they understood like I'm gonna date whoever I'm gonna date.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, for me, my mom she just wants grandkids. That's all she cares about. She prefers to be talking about this point of my life. She's just like, you know what, just give me some grandkids and we'll settle for that. All right. But I think if you just have a genuine conversation, I think if your parents are really gonna disown you just because you're not gonna make that adjustment, I think there's a deeper issue right there. But I think if you have normal parents that really care about you, I think they have traditions they want to keep alive. But I think at some point they just realize, you know what, it's my daughter, it's my son, I just want to make them happy. You know, they're gonna try to push you towards that way, but they realize that you're gonna go your own way. I think most parents be like, you know what, just date whoever you want to date. Just make sure they're just respectful, right. and they treat you well and they do well for you. So, we got some super chats real quick. Thank you, Jerk. Shout out to you with the super chat. I gotta play some Tongan sounds for you, Jerk. So okay, thank you so much, Jerk. His question to the panel: is it hard to create generational wealth having to take care of everyone? That's a good question. What do you guys think?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
And the reason why I say that is there's a family overseas, back in the islands, even New Zealand too. But it seems like America is one of the main places that the family seeks financial support from, and it's difficult to create financial wealth because you're always in the mindset of spending, right? And when you're trying to create generational wealth, like you have to build that foundation first, and that takes like some initial investment, right? But if you're spending money almost every time on especially to help your family, it's like you don't have anything else to actually, save on the side for the purpose of investing. And it's difficult to even get that. And plus, like, because it's been habitualized, there's just a cycle of like, we're just sending money overseas, and that's all we know how to do, right? And so it's cyclical, and so it's difficult. That's
Yeah.
I'll pass it to you, Salah. What do you think, Salah? Do you think it's hard to create generational wealth if you're taking care of everyone?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's hard to kind of be selfish and put your own needs first when you have all these extra people to take care of, and not only sending money away, but church events or like there's always something going on at church, and they're putting in hundreds of thousands of money.
Yeah.
And instead of putting that to your home or something for your kids or groceries, it just goes to the church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also have to add that, like, I think I've seen, now I don't know, this is just what I've seen, like a lot of I guess people in our community take like their roles at church so seriously that they're willing to spend like $30,000, $40,000 on church, and there's just, I don't know if there's validation because people are watching and people are seeing this, and maybe they get some form of validation from it, but it does take a lot out financially. That's what I wanted to add on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to build generational wealth. I think there was something. Um, Shout out to what's I did a podcast with Coach Vinami Tuivai. He's a very successful Tongan motivational speaker, and I'm probably paraphrasing what he said, but he said this a long time ago. I did a pod interview with him, and we were talking about this, right? How can we build ourselves to be generational wealth, to be financially stable, but while still giving and taking care of our financial duties to our family. And I think he said you can't give. He said you can't give when you're broke. You have to give when you're wealthy, or when you're, I can't remember his exact words, but I do agree with if you want to build generational wealth, there has to be some kind of financial sacrifice for you to save your money to invest into whatever you're trying to achieve. But you can't do that if you're giving that investment to your family.
Yeah.
You can't really build yourself up to pay your own bills and to do the things you need to do. So, yeah, you just have to. I think one of the biggest things that a lot of Tongans are hard to do is, I think a lot of them are afraid to say no. And I think that's what we have to learn. Like, we have to learn to say no. You can't say yes to everything, especially when it's financially hurting your family and the people you care about. So I know I know family members that they give a lot to the church functions when it comes to the fakame and what's that one called? I can't remember, but
Like Dotupu, if they're Methodist.
yeah, it's the what's the one that happens in Tonga every summer? The Konfelenisi.
Oh,
Yeah, the Konfelenisi,
Is it the Missinales?
the Misinalis, the
Yeah.
fakame. So, Tongan and the church functions. So I know families personally that they give a lot of their money for these functions, but then when they go home, they don't have food to eat,
Yeah.
or all they eat is ramen noodles, because most of their income was given for the family function. So, I think that's selfish. I think you should always put your family first. And we're not saying, and I think for a lot of the old heads out there, we're not saying don't do it. I'm just saying is don't give if you don't got it.
Yeah.
All right. So maybe say no once in a while, and then save up your money, and maybe later, maybe in the next couple functions you can give. But if you know for a fact that you can't eat, or you can't pay your bills, you can't pay your rent, then say no.
Yeah.
Then say no.
Mhm.
Yeah, but it's hard. Yeah, it's hard to create generational wealth if you have to take care of everybody. I agree with you, Jerk. Especially if you're beginning in the starting phase, you're building yourself up. You have to. What's that old saying that you can't take care? The only how can you expect to take care of everyone if you can't even take care of yourself? So you got to learn to be able to take care of yourself. So the way I see it now, at this point in my life, I've got to a point right now I'm very comfortable telling my family say no. my family members are upset. No, but this is the way I see it. I already made a promise to myself. Whether they like my response or not, but I told my family that's one of my goals in life, is to create generational wealth, to take care of my parents and everybody that I care about. So the way I see it is, I'm saying no to you right now, so that way later on I can take care of you. So I remember I was watching I forgot that it was a podcast. He was like, "Look, I'm gonna say no to you right now. Let me just go to work disappear for a couple of years, but then I'll come back and I'll take care of everyone." So that's the way I see it, is let me just focus on myself. I'm gonna say no right now. There was a point of time in my life, especially when I was younger, I used to give my paycheck. I get my paycheck. I give majority of it to my family to take care of their bills, and we had a lot of bills to pay. But I just saw it was a repetitive cycle. There was no solution, because at the end of the day, the key is to solve poverty, right? The key is not to stay in poverty, right? So you talked about before, like, what's the point of giving all this money if we're gonna be broke for the rest of our life? Like, the solution should be, okay, let's come together, figure out a solution, so that way we can get our family out of poverty. And the solution is somebody has to be the first one in the family to do it.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna be the first one, then that you're gonna have to make the sacrifices and just tell your family no. And that's the way I see it for myself. I know a lot of people may disagree or may hate me, but I'm like, look, Pay me now. Let me go to work, and I'll come back. I promise you're gonna like me
Yeah.
later.
Right.
Or you'll be the first one to come and ask me for money when I get, when I become successful. So
the dollar.
yeah. So yeah, it is, by principle, it's hard. It's hard to create generational wealth if you're always giving money to everybody. At some point, you gotta just focus your finances to yourself and your goal, and build yourself up. And then when you get to a point when you have wealth, then you can give it. You're giving. Oh, that's the saying. So he said that. Shout out to Coach Villami Tuivai, but he said, "Don't give from a position of weakness. Always give from a position of strength."
Yes.
So don't give if you're broke.
Right.
If you know you're gonna go home and there's no rent and there's no lights and you have no food, you're giving from a position of weakness. Take some few years and sacrifice yourself and build yourself up. But then once you become really successful, now you're giving from a position of strength because you got money like that.
Mhm.
Like, I'm giving you all this money. Don't worry about it because I'm good. Like, this is disposable income. This is not. I don't have to think about this money. So that's shout out to Coach. That's something you always there's always I always remember. So always don't, if you're gonna give and you know you're gonna be weak, it's gonna make you weaker, especially your situation, finances, then don't give. Because you're gonna regret it, because you're gonna be like, okay,
Oh yeah, definitely.
you're gonna be homeless, you have no food, the lights are out,
Yeah.
and then you're gonna call the very people you gave money to help you, and guess what? They're not gonna respond to you.
Yeah. Nowhere to be.
And I've been there before where I was in a situation where I was in a bad financial situation, and the very people I constantly helped. I called them to help me out, and nobody was there for me. And I learned a very hard lesson. I was like, you know what? I'm always gonna do me first,
Right.
because when I'm in hard times, most of the people you give to, they're not gonna come and help you out.
Yeah.
So always take care of yourself. Oh, what's up, Salote? Hey, good to see you. With the no. All right. Yeah. So, yeah. And I have to make it clear, when I think our giving nature as Tongan, I think that's what makes us unique. We have very big hearts.
It's a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful thing, especially when we come together, especially family functions. Everybody comes together and contributes, and you see the weddings and the conferences and things that we do as a community. It's a beautiful thing. But what I am saying is, if you don't got it, say no. All right. So if it's gonna make if you're gonna put yourself in a harder or worse financial situation, if your kid's gonna suffer, if your wife is gonna suffer, if your wife is pregnant, you have a kid on the way, say no. Take care of yourself first.
And don't feel guilty.
Yeah, don't feel guilty about it.
Mhm.
I think we've all been there. I used to feel guilty. Now I don't. I sleep good at night now.
Mhm.
I feel good.
Mhm.
But yeah, you should always put yourself in a position of strength. So if you know that it's gonna make your life weaker, harder, put more burden on you, say no. Build yourself up to a position of strength and then give.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, that's a good question, Jerk. Thank you so much. And then the question from Sophisticated Jerk. Shout out to you, Jerk. Pasiato, eh? What will happen? What happens if you don't send money back home? Will you be shunned? Sorry for all the questions. I like learning about other cultures. Pass it to you. What's your response, ladies? Will you be shunned if you don't send money back home when they ask you to send money?
Oh. Sis, you wanna take this one?
I mean, I have never experienced being shunned. I sure hope no one gets shunned, but
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's some petty people out there. And I think I saw a comment earlier, like people overseas or family overseas, they think that we have it good out here since we're in America. But like, we're struggling too.
Yeah, little do they know, right? Like, the bills are never ending.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it, like, well, from my experience, right? Like I think it's more of like a mental battle. Probably it's something that we put on ourselves. Like for my parents, right? Like, if they don't send money, I think they feel guilty about not sending money, especially with my dad. He's the oldest of his siblings.
Yeah.
And I think that already puts a lot of responsibility and pressure for him to do, I guess, his manly duties in terms of like supporting them financially. And I think that's something as a man that he puts on himself more so, like, if I don't do this, then I'm not doing my job. And so, you know, I don't know if they will shun you, you know, but
Yes,
probably
they will.
they will.
They
Ooh.
will.
So I guess they will.
Yeah.
But I think it's like, you know, from what I know and just seeing, it's like my parents do put a lot of pressure to give, you know, and so saying no is difficult. And yeah, so I guess I learned something new. They shun you. Woo.
Yeah. No, I think it depends on your family. I think there's certain family members, they're very understanding. But I think there's certain family members, they're just not as understanding. And they somebody said in the comments, a lot of people back home assume that we're all millionaires living in America. You know, they don't understand that we're barely trying to make it here.
Yeah.
So unless you're asking, you know, you're somebody that's playing in the NFL or something or successful, yeah, that'll be different. But most of us is just trying to take care of our bills and just trying to make it to the next day.
Just trying to big ass.
Yeah. So that's why when we say no, they're like they just have the assumption, oh, don't you guys got money like that? I was like, yeah, but we also have bills, we got taxes, we have a federal income tax on our salary. There's a lot of we have insurance. Some of the things that you never have to worry about back in the islands.
Yeah.
You know, you guys have no bills in the islands. Like the only bills in the islands you guys have is what? Water, electricity.
Yeah, the basics.
Basically, there's no taxes. There's no property tax. There's no income tax. Right? There's barely any kind of taxes in Tonga, so they don't have to worry about that. So, so that's why they don't comprehend like the difference in living in America compared to Tonga. So, and I think sometimes they think of the conversion. You know, when you convert American money to Tongan money, it doesn't work the other way around.
Right.
So
It goes.
yeah, it's like $1,000 here is what 2,000 in Tonga, but it's still 1,000 here. It doesn't make a difference. Yeah, but I do know there's some family members if they lack the understanding, you know, they'll shun you. They think the Tongan word is fear. You know, want to be. You know, you don't care. Oh, some of them just you don't love us. There's a lot of manipulation that goes into these these topics.
Guilt tripping,
The guilt tripping.
Is out of this world.
Yeah, the manipulation. A lot of it, the manipulation tactics that they've been using against your family members to use their family against you. One of the common ones I think about, especially if they've raised you as a baby. Remember when I used to carry you as a kid? I used to change your diaper. I used to breastfeed you. I used to take care of you.
I used to mama the food. And you. You know, yeah.
I'm like, let me fact check real quick. Hey, is that true? But I remember, you know, they'd be using those tactics. But yeah, like I said, if you don't got it, you don't got it. You know, and sometimes they act like it's going to be the end of the world if you don't send them money.
Right.
You're still gonna be good. Go climb a coconut tree and drink some water. And there's always like you're not gonna die of starvation in Tonga, right? You're gonna be good. Right. But they make it seem like, oh, if you don't send this check, we're gonna be starving like a third world country. It's like no, it's not gonna be the end of the world. Like you'll be okay. Okay, all right. You just do food. Just go to some random go to some coconut tree. There's somebody out there. No, just go to the neighbors. There's food. There's always food in Tonga.
Yeah, we just gravitate towards the dramatics.
Yeah. Like here, if you're homeless, it's rough.
Yeah.
Tonga, like there's always a family member you can stay at. There's always food. There's coconuts everywhere. You know, like you'll be okay. You're not gonna starve in Tonga. But yeah, so that was a good question. Yeah, we do get shunned, but it really depends on the family members. Some family members are very understanding, but some just if you have good family members, they're okay. Yeah, but there's some family members that with bad intentions, and they're just trying to manipulating and take advantage of your situation. Especially if you're young. So if you're young, like 18, 19, they'll definitely guilt trip you. But as us, like as we get older, like that doesn't work on me no more. You know, so if you're young, they'll get you. All right. And sending the boxes back home.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's another one. Send boxes. We used to send a box every couple of months. I don't mind sending the boxes. Yeah, but that's the things that we have to deal with. That's a good question, Jerk. But yeah, there is a big part of it. A lot of us come from the islands and we come over here, and a lot of us we still send money back home to take care of our family members. But it is in our culture like an expectation to always give back to our elders.
Mhm.
So usually the people working are younger, and we always give back to our elders back in the country. So we have a very deep respect towards our elders. So if they ask for money, we tend to send it back home. But I think it's just if you don't got it, just say no.
Right.
He also asked a question. Thank you so much, Jerk. Appreciate you. Is it common for Tongans and Samoans to marry each other? What's your response, Salah? And go ahead, Salah. What's your response to that?
I mean, I'm Tongan and Samoan myself, so yes.
But is it common?
I'm not really sure if it's common.
Yeah.
I mean, there are Tongans who marry non-Polynesians, and same thing for the Samoans. Yeah, I wouldn't really necessarily say it's common. But there are Tongans and Samoans that end up together, marry each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What about you, Daisa? Do you think it's common?
I mean, most of the people that I know, just within the Polynesian community or Tongan, like I know for the Tongan, most of the people that I know are married to Tongans. A couple of them are married to Samoans, so it's not like uncommon. But I wouldn't make an argument that it's common.
Yeah, it's not common. Yeah.
So, but I understand why though. Like the culture is very similar, so there's a lot of mutual understanding. But yeah, I wouldn't say it's a common occurrence.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's not. I mean, it does happen.
Yeah.
Tongan Samoans, they do marry each other, but it's not really a common thing. Most Samoans marry other Samoans. Most Tongans marry other Samoans. I think most people marry what's familiar with them, like we talked about before.
Yeah.
It's easier to marry within your own race and culture because you don't really have to explain anything, and we just understand each other. And the same thing with Samoans. But is there a big difference between the Samoan culture? Because you're half and half. Is there a big difference between Samoans and Samoans as far as culture, or is it very similar?
I say it's kind of both. I mean, we do have some similarities, but there are some very distinct differences for sure. Yeah.
Okay. What's like the distinct differences?
I mean, just from what I've noticed, like something that comes to mind is like Tongans like being whakapapa.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, with anybody, some ones, it just depends on how they were raised or something. They don't really have the same moral, like especially for that. So
So Tongans have a better moral foundation than Samoans?
No, not necessarily. It's just I think it just depends how you were raised.
Oh.
I mean, Samoan people that I've met is just there is that difference in that area.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like we put more emphasis on like respect versus like
especially with the being around your boy cousins and yeah.
Oh, so it's saying Tongan men are more traditional when it comes to the cultural traditions to keep it compared to the Samoan men.
Some of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you see that it's more often the guys in the Tongan. The Tongan guys are more like to keep the Tongan traditions, like the whakapapa, making sure that the way you present yourself when you around women and sisters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Samoans is not really.
I mean, not in general, but just
In general, what you've seen. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. All right, thank you so much. No, I agree. And then I see you, Gas Massey. I see you, Gas Massey, on the live chat. Appreciate you guys watching the entire stream. Vin, good to see you. Salate, always good to see you. Appreciate you guys for always being on the live chat. And I see Trojan. Never seen you here before. Appreciate you, Trojan. Thank you so much being on the live chat. Appreciate you guys. Like I said, if you have specific questions, drop it through a super chat. We'll be responding to a lot of your questions. We're just talking about what's it like to be dating as Tongan Samoans be like today in 2024. And we're going to cover a lot of the things that we often discuss, especially when it comes to Tongan and Samoan. So I do appreciate you guys. So, all right. Let's get back to, we were talking about the financial burden in Kavengas. It says, so I think both of you guys said you still prefer the date within the culture. Is that something that you have to consider when they say you date a Tongan or Samoan, right? You said you prefer to date Tongans. You said you prefer to date. Which one do you prefer, date a Tongan or Samoan? Tongan. Okay. Is that something that you have to consider, like when you date a Tongan? Okay, is he the type of person that always likes to be involved in Kavengas, or do you like a guy that's more reserved? You know what? Because you know, there's a lot of Tongans that's hardcore when it comes to Kavengas, hardcore when it comes to family functions. They always want to be at every family function or church function. So for me, it's like if I date someone I like, I'm more reserved. Like I only participate in the ones if I want to, and the ones I because I'm always doing what I'm trying to do for myself. So, but if I'm with the Tongan girl that wants to do all that stuff, because I know some Tongans that they're like that. I know some Aussies are like that. They just want to be involved in everything. Go to every function, every church function, family function. They want to be attendance. And also, some of them have a big pride when it comes to doing those things, which I don't mind. But for me, if I'm with the Tongan girl that wants to be in every function, do everything, that's too much for me. I'm more reserved. Just I'm only gonna go to the ones that I want to, and then the ones I'm gonna say no to, I'm gonna say no to. What about you guys? If you guys date a Tongan, if he's hardcore, let's be in every function. Let's make sure we contribute. Let's maybe do something. Does that make a difference of whether you want to be with him long term?
Okay, for me personally, he has to have some reservation, like be more reserved. And I think that's just because, like, it's I don't know. I feel like it's draining. All the Kavengas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It could be draining, and most of the time, like when there is, you're probably staying up super late, cooking and whatnot, and like just long-term thinking, like the wear and tear that it could cause to our bodies in terms of like doing that kind of like consistently doing that, like I see like my parents, especially my moms and my aunties, like the wear and tear on their bodies and just the effect, the health consequences. Like they hardly sleep when all, and they're staying up until God knows when, and then going to sleep, probably for 2 to 3 hours, and that's beside their duties that they have to do at home, and then you wonder why, like later on, it's like they have all these onset of health issues at such a short amount of time. And it's like, that's because when you're younger, you're staying up to these crazy late hours doing the most for the kavenga and stuff like that. And it's like, you don't prioritize your own health as well. And I think that's something that we hardly talk about, the health consequences that these, that the kavengas and stuff like that can cause.
Okay.
But that's just, like, I'd rather he be more reserved. You don't got to do all of that.
Yeah. Would you rather him be reserved, or would you rather him just like, we're not doing none of that? Because there are some Tongans, especially the newer generation, they just had a bad experience, growing up that way. And when it comes to their life, you know what? I'm just gonna cut my ties off that. I'm just gonna do my own thing. So would you be able to do that? Be with the guys like, like we're not doing any functions at all. We're just gonna do our thing.
Well, okay.
Or do you want a guy that's more reserved?
I want them to be more reserved, and the reason why that is because I'm thinking, like, if I'm with this guy, I'm already thinking marriage and children and whatnot.
Yeah.
I want the kids at least to have some exposure
to the Tongan culture. Okay.
Right. And so it's not like an absolute no, you cannot do that, but like, be reasonable with how, so yeah, that's my answer.
Oh, okay. All right. What about you, Salah?
I'd say more reserved too. Like if he doesn't want to take part in that, that's fine. But I will, for the most part. But yeah, it's just more reserved.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's I know it's yeah, for me, I'm gonna be more reserved. I just pick and choose.
Yeah.
Right now in the situation right now, I'm just focused on me. But yeah, when I have the time, if, I do appreciate our culture. There's a lot of things I see with our community. I mean, when you go to Tongan functions, it's fun. When it's fun, when it's when it's good people, it's done the right way. It's a lot of fun going to Tongan functions when it's done the right way. But if it's not done the right way, and then you see a lot of people out there, they're just there because they don't want to be there. And you have family drama. Family drama when everybody gets together. There's always somebody gay. Some bad blood, or they hate each other, and they have to meet each other at the function. But besides the toxic family drama, if it's when you go to the function, it's fun, especially when we have our traditions, Talungas. We get to expose ourselves, and I get to reminisce back in the day when I used to be in Tonga, and brings back memories when you go back to your family functions.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have to pick and choose which one I want to go to. I'm not gonna go to every single one, but there are hardcore. You guys know what I'm talking about. The hardcore. They have to go to every function. Always updating on Facebook. Always Facebook Living. What's up with the aunties that they found out? But once they found out about Facebook Live, it's over. Like, once they found out they get live, they're always streaming. All the aunties, the OGs,
always be on Facebook.
Yeah, always OG. Some of them don't even know how to live. They're just
they're like, oh, I Wait, how do you do this?
Sometimes like, well, the purpose of the live to show us the event, not just your face the entire time. With the OGs in the live, it's hilarious. All right. Okay. So we talked about the financial burdens, but let's pivot to the. I know you brought it up earlier in the beginning, dating outside the culture. So I know both of you guys said that you guys prefer to date within the culture, but let me ask you this: what would have to happen for you to finally, what? I'm tired of these Tongan men. I'm going outside. To go date outside the culture, because I know girls personally, like they were hardcore dating Tongan men and dating within the culture. But then something happened. I'm not gonna say what, but something happened, and they're like, "I'm tired. I'm done with these guys. I'm gonna go find me a balangi, and I'm just gonna go marry this balangi because I'm just tired. I'm tired of trying to find my Tongan soulmate." So let me ask you guys, what would have to happen for you to finally give up on dating Tongan men and then going outside? Or that's not possible. I'm just gonna keep going until the wheels fall off.
You start off.
Oh, no pressure. Yeah. Jeez.
Let me just bring up one point. I know Salote brought up a great point.
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest challenges a lot of people give up on dating within the culture is you're just tired of running into people that you're related to.
Yeah.
We're such a small community, such a small island. Everybody knows everybody. So I think I've heard from a lot of people, they're just tired of finding out later, that the second, third cousin, they're related. And a lot of people, I just don't play that game no more. I don't want to take that risk. Because I know somebody personally, they fell in love. But then I think they were dating for like a year, and then found out later they were cousins, first cousins, I believe, or second cousins. But they were in love. So they're just like, no. I mean, and plus they already were physically intimate already. So it's like, there's no way of going back.
Right.
They're already, they already had it. They're already done. So you gotta, you might as well keep it going. But yeah, what happened, but yeah, that's one of the reasons. That's one to add that they made that on the comment. But yeah, what would have to happen for you guys to finally give up on dating Tongan men?
Yeah. Well, in addition to being related, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think it's, I think I've mentioned it before with just the, I guess, the pressure of like having to think about, like, do I get along with his sisters or his mom? if a problem happens between us, is it just going to stay between us, or is he going to run to mom and now she's involved in the issue as well? And of course she's going to take his side, right? And so I think a lot of times, I think it's just like, you know, if they get into a relationship with the Tongans, like, is this, I don't know how to put it, but like, are you going to have my back? You know, if something happens, let's say like me and your mom get into it or have a disagreement, or me and your sisters have a disagreement, like, are you going to have my back at the end of the day?
Yeah.
And there are some cases where they have their sister's back or their mom's back, and it's just like, okay, are you a little boy or are you a man? So that's something that comes up too, because I think that's a problem I hardly see like outside of the culture.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's something that came up to.
Is that something you guys see? Is that a lot, is that a prevalent behavior? A lot of Tongan men that they generally would put their moms and sisters before their girlfriend. Is that something you see that's common?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, you see that as common.
That's something that I see that's common.
Yeah.
And then it's, you know, like I don't really understand the mindset behind that. But yeah, that's, yeah.
Well, I think as Tongans, we grew up in a very tight knit
Right.
community and family.
Right.
But I get it. I think if you're gonna, especially if you're talking about your wife, I think, okay, I understand it. I think if it's not a committed relationship, I'm always gonna take my sister.
Right.
Like if I just met you for a couple of weeks, but also I think for me is I don't tolerate disrespect, whatever it's my sister, my mom, or if it's somebody I'm dating. But if it's somebody you just I think if you're just meeting for the first time and then maybe they got an argument with your sister, you know, I'm not gonna pick sides because number one, we're not really in a committed relationship. I just met you. Maybe you guys had some history before in the past. Maybe they know each other or something. You guys have some drama going on. I'm gonna let you guys figure out. I don't want to pick and choose.
Yeah.
You know. But if we're talking about like a committed relationship, I'm talking about this is gonna be my future wife and the mother of my children. I'm always gonna defend my wife and the mother of my children because at the end of the day, I'm gonna go home. That's my family.
Yeah, but I feel like not every Tongan man is like that. Like that's not like clicking in their head. Like they choose.
But here's the thing. I think sometimes I gotta put the accountability on the men. Sometimes they just choose some crazy ass girlfriends. Sometimes they just choose some fakasesele, you know. So they're like, I've seen it before. Where I mean, if you have toxic family members, that can be a situation. So if you have toxic family members, because that is a thing. You have toxic sisters, toxic moms. You have to probably probably keep them away from each other and maybe just have some distance between them. But it's not always the sister's fault. But there are sometimes like the guy, you know, you can see the girlfriend, she's just toxic as hell, you know, and then she always creating problems with the sisters, with my mom. So I have sisters, I have my mom. I love my mom to death. I love my sisters to death. But that's something I would communicate towards my sisters and towards my mom. Like, hey, look, I respect you, but don't disrespect my wife. Don't disrespect my woman, the mother of my children. And you know, I'm still gonna love them, but at the end of the day, I believe if you have a good family unit, I think both parties will never put themselves in a situation where you have to choose.
Yeah.
And I think that's healthy. But I think if you're toxic, then you got to cut some people off and go with somebody, especially if it's your mom. But I think if you know that if your wife, especially if your mom is good and your sisters are good generally, and then your girlfriend's trying to create some wedge between them, like, hey, you got to pick me on them. But even though you know for sure, like they haven't really done anything, I think you have to kind of like look at your girlfriend like, I think you're toxic as hell. I gotta give you the boot. But I think I've seen it both ways where the mom is toxic. I understand. You gotta be like the guys have said, for the guys out there, be a man and stand up for yourself and for your woman. all right, and don't be weak. But I've seen the vice versa where the sisters are good, the mom is good, but the wife is crazy, and she's manipulating him. Hey, it's me or them. Pick. And I don't think that's healthy. If you have if your partner's trying to create a wedge between you and your family, especially if your family is not really causing a lot of problems.
Yeah.
But it goes both ways. But even with the sisters and moms, you can have a good woman, but some of them are just jealous or whatever, and they'll try to force feed some negative thoughts to distance you from her.
That big, yeah.
Right. So I think that comes to self-awareness. You got to really be aware of your own situation. So it's different, but I do agree. If it comes to your mother, your children, if your wife, you have to put them first because that's your family. Yeah. What's that old saying in the biblical times? When you get married, you break away and start your own family. Yeah. So even though I understand that we have a deep tie to our mom and to our sisters, but when you break away from them, you become one with your wife. This is your family now, so you got to prioritize your family because you're one with them. All right, so it goes both ways. So what do you guys think?
I mean, you said everything.
Yeah. Think about what specifically. What was?
Oh, no. I was just thinking the men not standing. I mean, have you guys have you been in a situation before where you went, when you bring your man for the first time to your family, the family, that's always awkward. You bring a date. Hey guys, this is Kuhaye.
Yeah.
It's always awkward when you bring them do you think it's more awkward for the women to bring their girlfriend to your boyfriend compared to the men bringing their girlfriend? Do you think it's the same, or do you think it's more awkward for the women?
I think it's more awkward for the women.
Yeah, I think it's more awkward for the women.
Yeah.
I think it's more awkward for you.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But
have you guys been in a situation where you brought your boyfriend to meet your family for the first time, and then there was some kind of disrespect between him, or there's some kind of argument or something happened, and then not your family, to his family. Mm-hmm. So he brings you to his family, to his sisters, to his moms, and there's something happened. There's an altercation. There was some words between you and a family member, and maybe you got disrespected, and he didn't step up to defend you. Have you guys experienced that?
I haven't.
No,
I haven't, but I've seen and heard a lot of cases like that. And I guess more than once, it's he sides with the sisters and the mom, versus his wife. But personally, no. Okay. Personally, no. Okay. Are you guys willing to do that for yourself? So say if you brought your man to meet your family, and they say some family member disrespected him, are you willing to stand up and defend him? Well, that like you said, it depends, right?
Yeah.
Like whether he is a boyfriend or if he's the husband.
Okay.
Right? So I think if he's the husband, then it's like watch the boundaries. Like I think my family needs to know their place, and it's like,
okay,
no, this is my husband. But yeah, I think it just depends on the circumstances. But yeah.
The circumstances, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think it's more awkward for the women to bring compared to the guys, bring you to meet your date for the first time?
Great question.
You're the one who said it was awkward.
I really don't know. Like, I always wonder the same thing, why it's such a big difference, us bringing a guy home or versus, like our brothers bringing someone home. They family doesn't really care for this.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think is that double standard where the women, like when they bring someone home, it's like immediately like it's a huge deal for the family.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just a huge deal for the family. Whereas like a guy bring home like his girlfriend, it's like, oh, okay, that's just his girlfriend, And I feel like they have a lot more freedom in that like versus like women, like the girls, like they bring home their boyfriends, like, is this the one? Right. Is this the one? Like they immediately like go there. It's like, okay, if he's not the one, why is he here? Why is he, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think it puts a lot of pressure on the women to, you know, be very, I guess, like, be very picky on like who they bring home, you know, like you can't just bring anybody home to meet your family, because I think there's a level of seriousness to it, like and I think like the guy, I'm more so speaking for like if I bring someone home, I know he's like, my family is going to be like all up in the business, like what do you do, where do you come from, who's your family, where's your goal, what's your vision, whatnot and whatnot. And it can be overwhelming for the guy and overwhelming for the girl as well. So I think it's but for men, I feel like they just bring her home, they don't put so much pressure on it, it's kind of more free.
Yeah, I think so. I'm trying to think why. Why is there harder? I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's a gender thing. I don't think. It's more accepted. I think it's more accepted for men to bring their women to meet the family compared to a woman bringing your date. If it's not serious. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think it's I think it's more okay if you I think it's more of a gender thing, because usually for men, like, we are the one that's gonna either ask you out to make it official if you have the girlfriend and or propose to you. So if I think it's more accepted for us to bring, but if you bring a guy that hasn't done, number one, hasn't made you the girlfriend or has no intention of proposing for you to marry you, then our mind's like, why you're with this guy? Unless you just heard for fun, you know. But usually if a guy, like, we kind of control that aspect. So if we bring them to the family, then we can have an idea, oh, okay, maybe that's the one you really want to be with, that you want to have you probably asked her out already to make the girlfriend, or he's probably gonna eventually propose to you one day. So I think that's more accepted when the guys do it. But if the woman brings the one and he hasn't communicated that, then we're like, okay, this guy is just up to no good, wasting their time. Maybe that's my theory. I don't know if that's true. What do you think?
For like,
why it's more accepted for a guy to for the Tongan, for the guy to bring his girlfriend compared to the woman?
Well, I think it definitely comes down to the gender thing. Because I know, like, in Tongan cultures, like it's normal for the man to bring the girlfriend, bring their girlfriends over, and obviously they're the ones who's going to have to finalize that decision in terms of like proposing. Which I'm glad, because that pressure is on you guys. Right. But yeah, for women, it's like, okay, she's bringing somebody here
that hasn't proposed, or that hasn't made her into a girlfriend.
And so I think like with that, it's like they're kind of worried, like, this is not this. Yep, exactly. So yeah.
Okay, I have a question I want to ask you guys, if you don't mind being honest. Is there pressure to bring a guy that's not ugly to your family? Look, this is the reason why I asked you this. My family they're gonna roast the shit out of you if you bring somebody that's ugly.
That's like normal talk
to the family.
Yeah.
So is there? I mean, first, you know, I know my cousins and my sisters. I love my sisters, but they'll keep it honest with me. Oh, damn, she hella ugly.
With the nifagora.
You know, so if you bring somebody that's hella fob, hella ugly, you're gonna get roasted, and they'll roast you in your face when they're right next to you. They'll hear your roast. So I know Tongans, like, they, God bless their heart, but they fell in love with the ugly guy, but they know that I can't bring you to meet my family because they're gonna roast the shit out of you. So they avoid. So they'll always avoid. I have one cousin. I'm not gonna say her name, but she married a guy that's hella ugly. And then, but And she always avoided bringing him over to meet the family. Always, where is it? Where's he coming? She actually married and not told nobody.
I don't blame her.
Oh,
Poor thing.
All right. So, but yeah, I want to ask you: is there a lot of pressure for you to bring somebody that's not ugly to meet your family? Is your family like that? They'll roast the shit out of you if you bring somebody that's ugly.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a major concern when you date a guy. At least you got to be at least good looking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh. Yeah, no, I dated this one guy. I never met him in person, but at least like we were FaceTiming one time, and my cousin was like, let me see his face, and I showed his face to her, and she was like, sis, out of all the faces out there, you want to pick this one. It's good to marry somebody, because at least when you're pissed off at them, at least you can look at their face and calm down, and you'll be put yourself in a beautiful place. But it's like, oh, like that. I think like with my family, like obviously they care about you and things like that. But like, I think looks, they don't have to be the most attractive person.
Yeah.
It just can't be hella
Ugly, hella ugly.
And it's just like, I think it's, their concern is like, how can you even sleep with that thing?
Especially if you're a good looking girl, right? Like,
yeah.
if you're good looking and then you bring somebody hella ugly,
they're like worried if the kids are gonna come out.
Yeah.
It's so.
They're like, Maui must Maui go.
Right. And so it's like, I can't blame them, like, but I feel like that's how Tongans or Polynesians show their love. Like they just roast whoever you're dating.
Yeah. I mean, they're objective when it comes to looks. They'll keep it 100 with you.
So yeah, and I think like beauty standards in the islands is just like it's so important to that degree. Yeah. But I feel like sometimes we go overboard. Okay. But yeah, my family definitely cares about a man being not being hella ugly. Let's just say that.
Not being hella ugly. Okay. So that's a priority for you.
It's not a priority. Like I feel like the personality is great.
It's definitely something on your mind.
But it's on, like I have to be attracted to that person. But it's like.
What I'm saying is, I've known girls like you love who you love, right? So they end up falling in love with a guy that wasn't conventionally attractive, was ugly.
Yeah,
but they understand that. Look, I can't bring you around my family because I'm gonna get upset. It's because they know their family's not gonna change. Nobody's gonna hold back. Yeah, you can go to your family. Hey,
they're vicious.
Yeah,
I mean, they're
even
vicious.
if you tell them, hey, look, I'm gonna bring my partner. Please. Don't say anything. That doesn't work. That's not gonna work.
The roast, just forget.
Yeah, they'll make it worse for you if you say that. So you just avoid bringing them to your family. And I know some girls and some guys too that they knew that their girlfriend was like ugly, and they're like, and they don't have the confidence to tell them the truth of why they're not meeting the family, because the girl's like, when I'm gonna meet your family, when I'm gonna meet your family, baby. I'm like, sorry, baby. I can't. You know what? My family's just busy. Just schedule. We'll get married first, and then there's a lot of time for us to meet the family. But he knows, like, look, you're gonna get destroyed by my family.
Yeah, that usually happens. But
yeah,
family and friends.
Family and friends. So you have family members like that? Like, this is gonna be vicious. They're gonna be. Yeah. I mean, have you ever been in a situation where you avoided bringing them around your family because you knew that they're going to get destroyed?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, after that experience that I had.
Oh, that has happened to you in real life?
Yeah. No. That's what I'm saying. I was dating this guy. We were FaceTiming.
Oh, FaceTiming.
And.
So you gave up after that?
Well, I mean, because it wasn't serious.
Oh, it wasn't serious.
Like,
okay.
Yeah. Like, but like, my cousin's like, let me just, and I was like, okay, I'll just show you the face. And then she was like, out of all the faces out there, you want to bring this one? Why? Get rid of it immediately. I was like, geez, like I like 2 seconds changed just like that.
What did you tell him?
That's not.
And what did you say? Just, hey, we have different paths in life. We have to go. We have to go.
Yeah,
We're just growing
it was
apart.
Like, this is not gonna work out.
Oh, you just ghosted. You just
No,
ghosted.
no. I told them. I was
not
like,
you, it's me.
it's not. No, it's just like I can't. I got some things I got to focus on, and I'm no longer open to dating anyone. I apologize. I know there's someone out there for you. It's just not me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I
Yeah.
I didn't have the guts to tell him that
Yeah.
it's because he was.
It's tough, especially if you have a good-looking family. I mean, there's some
Yeah.
Tongan families like you can see, oh, that's a good-looking.
Yeah.
The genetics is strong in this family.
Yeah.
If you're gonna bring a abnormal genetic gene
Stop.
Normal. Not the abnormals.
to disrupt that lineage, that genetic pool, yeah, that's something that you have
Yeah,
to.
not the Mataingali.
Oh,
Oh, jeez.
Mataingali is one of the worst things. Yeah,
Oh,
you
yeah.
can tell.
Yeah, and it's just like, yeah. Mm-mm.
I want to reverse it. Has that ever happened to you when you went to meet your boyfriend's family and they roasted you? Has that ever happened to you and they just roasted the shit out of you?
No.
Has that ever happened before?
Mm-mm.
No?
I've never met. I feel like I'm only open to meet my husband's family. So their boyfriend, I'm like, eh.
Oh, okay. No, I've seen it where it's tough when you just see it and they just take it. It just mali.
Yeah.
Pretend like it doesn't hurt,
But it
And
hurts.
I feel for them, man, just being a good sport, being
Yeah.
respectful. But I'm like, sheesh. I'm like,
Yeah, like when they leave, then it's like, did you see that? What was that?
No,
Mr.
the-
Bean? Mr. Bean.
now the worst is like we're walking away and then there's like a big laugh, and they can hear you. It's like, damn, that's
Yeah,
tough.
they're vicious. I know.
Yeah, that's tough.
It's-
No, I've seen relationships break up after that.
Oh yeah.
It's like, what either the boyfriend or the girlfriend gets mad. Why you didn't defend me? It's like, I mean, it is certain.
Dude. Yeah.
I mean, you are ugly.
They are hella
But I
ugly.
love you though. I love you, but go off y'all go away.
Oh, dang.
So I don't know. It's tough. Yeah. Lord Punisher Matangeli means it's bad when you translate it in English.
Oh.
It sounds bad. But honestly, the Lord Punisher Matangeli, the literal translation from Matangeli is monkey face. Yeah, so that's what that means. It sounds bad when you say it in English. Okay, appreciate you guys for watching. We're just having conversations. We know what's it like dating Samoans, but but I can only imagine the reverse. Say like, I'm not trying to sound mean, but if the genetic pool in your family is not strong and you're kind of like coming from an ugly family, but then you bring a really talabo girl, everybody's like,
Yeah. You did it. Good job, man.
Okay,
Oh,
then.
good job. Good job.
Yeah.
break the cycle.
Malo.
Mali.
Oh, wow.
Everybody's gonna be like,
Yes, I know.
We discussed
Like, yeah, for real. For real.
everybody
yeah.
dancing. You did it. It could be
Break
the
the norm.
reverse. It'll be the reverse if you come from a, ugly family and then you bring somebody that's very, very tolerable, very pretty. I've seen that before. Everybody just all the cousins is like,
Oh yeah.
Why? Oh, the poor thought.
yeah. But the one thing that can be negative, sometimes the sisters will be hating. If you bring a very attractive girl and they're more beautiful than everybody, all your cousins and the sisters, it's just hella valuable. Yeah, like some of them may not take it well.
Yeah. I get a little bit jealous.
They be hella jealousy. So it's a it's a funny thing. It's a funny thing, our people. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. We're always tuning in. We're having a great conversation. Shout outs again to you guys on this live stream. All right, we're just having some fight Kava tonight with Itaisa and Sala. We're just talking about the things that we experience when it comes to dating as Tongans and Samoans. And I want to pivot to some of the things that you guys talked about before. So, we talked about dating outside the culture.
Mm.
All right. I want to talk about the thing that you mentioned before, like dating expectations. I know a lot of us come from very traditional parents. Is your parents traditional for both of you guys?
No.
That's yours are not traditional. Is your hardcore
Yeah.
traditional?
Yeah, I wouldn't say hardcore traditional, but
Yeah.
they're I guess on the spectrum of traditional, they're pretty traditional.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, is it hard to date if your parents are very traditional? And I saw with you with that stuff because you can relate more to it.
Mm.
What's it like trying to date and then your parents are very traditional? Are they involved in your dating life? Like they're always asking questions, trying to figure out what's going on with you?
No, they're not super involved. It's just because I know they're so traditional. Like there's a pressure of like being extra picky.
Okay.
You know.
Can you describe like your parents' ideal man for you?
Jeez. You know.
Tongan, of course.
Yeah.
Does he have to speak Tongan? Poto lefa Tonga?
Tongan. He doesn't have to. I mean, that would be a plus. You know, to know.
Let's keep it on. Let's keep it honest, because if he doesn't speak Tongan, we don't allow it.
Okay. All right. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Vale
Tongan-
lefa Tonga?
Tongan, yeah. So Tongan speaks Tongan
Okay.
because they want to, at least like have the language live on, through the next generation and so on and so forth.
Okay, so speak Tongan.
And,
Okay.
Can't be broke,
Okay, not
right?
broke.
They
No.
have to be educated,
Yeah.
come from a good family,
Education means what? High school or college?
college.
So he has to get a
They have to-
bachelor's,
Yeah, they have to
bare minimum, bachelor's
Yes.
degree.
bare minimum.
Okay.
And they have, obviously they have to be Christian,
Okay, Christian.
and
Does it have to be? I mean, does it have to be Christian? Or can it be other religions that believe in God, like Catholic, Mormon, or does it have to be
Yeah,
Christian?
like, but as long as they have faith in God, I think
Okay.
that's like
But
thing.
because many Tongans are, especially the traditional ones, are very picky. Like,
Yeah,
because I know Mormons, like if it's not Mormon, don't date him.
yeah. No,
Is
my-
there
my-
parents like that?
No, my
Okay.
parents are more like, as long as he's Christian or has a relationship with God,
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
cool. But yeah, and yeah, but the education one, and obviously he has to be like good looking,
Yeah. Don't be ugly.
Don't be ugly.
Don't be
At
ugly.
least for the family's sake. But my
Yeah.
parents are like, if he has a relationship with God, he's, so on and so forth, and he's smart. Yeah.
Okay. So Tongan speaks Tongan, not broke. He has to have at least a bachelor's degree. Christian and don't be ugly.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, that's
Yes.
a top tier Tongan right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
It's a top tier Tongan in the dating pool.
Oh,
You're trying to
Lord.
find the best of the
I know
Tongans.
exactly. So,
Oh, man.
so like extra picky, extra. So, so at this point, I'm like, I'll just wait for Jesus Christ,
To return.
So yeah. But
Okay.
yep.
I mean, are you actively trying to find a guy that has all those characteristics, or have you got to a point right now? You know what? I may have to compromise on one. You know what?
No,
Maybe the
but-
Tongan thing.
but
Maybe
that's-
I'll just find a guy that doesn't
Yeah.
speak Tongan. That's
Yeah,
I can compromise on that. Of course you don't want the broke, but maybe you can compromise on the speaking Tongan one. Maybe the education one. Maybe he
Yeah,
graduated high
he's
school,
not-
but as long as he's not dumb, he's intelligent.
Yeah, he's intelligent. Like for some of those things on the list, like I don't mind compromising because I feel like some of them is not.
Okay,
so
which ones are the ones that you're
the
not
ones
willing
you
to
just-
compromise?
the ones you just named, right?
Okay, so the Tongan one
Like,
speaks Tongan.
He doesn't necessarily
Need to
have
speak Tongan. Okay.
right? And the college degree, he doesn't really, as long as he's not stupid.
Stupid. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, don't be a dumbass.
He has
Okay.
basic like common sense,
Okay.
because some guys out there, they haven't graduated college, but they're intelligent.
Yeah, very intelligent.
know.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's some things I can compromise on, and
Okay.
it goes, but yeah, that's the list. And so even I, as you read that list out loud, I'm like, yeah, at this point of
I mean, have you met a guy that has all those characteristics?
no, no, it's so unrealistic. Like,
Yeah.
like, are
Have you told that to your
serious?
parents? That like, that's not a real person. To tell your parents,
I
this is
don't-
a dream. This is a dream person you guys are describing.
Yeah,
This is not
no.
reality.
I think they know that, but it's like, that's they're
That's-
like that with me and my sisters, and I think
Yeah.
mostly it's pops,
Yeah.
and mom too. Mostly pops is like, because it's girls. We're all girls. He's like, hell no, y'all are just gonna stay nuns for the rest of your life. But
Does,
yeah,
does he have to be cultured? Potoy ang fatonga,
Oh yeah,
Does he have to be that?
most like
You know
at
what I'm talking
least-
about, right?
Yeah, like yes,
Do you get what I'm saying?
yeah.
yeah,
Like understand the pakakata and
yeah. Like he
the
has
tongue, the
definitely.
it's just the way we do things as song is
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does he have to get that?
He has to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he has to, because if not, it's like, oh, the poor guy. I would have to sit there and try to,
Yeah.
So it's, yeah, I feel like that one's a no-brainer. I agree with that one, but the rest, I'm like,
Okay.
yeah.
What about if he's the religion one, the Christian? Does the what about if he believes in what if he's an atheist? But
Mm-mm,
no.
mm-mm. I mean,
But he's a good
even-
person. Like he believes in being a good human being.
Yeah.
He just doesn't
Well,
believe in the higher power.
See, this is not even my parents' expectations. I think
Oh.
this is just my personal
Okay,
preference,
okay.
right? Like he has to be Christian, because yeah, if he's atheist, I'm not about to sit here and argue with you. 'Cause
Well,
we're not on
no.
the
What if you meet a guy that's atheist, but he respects your beliefs, right? So
Yeah.
he's not, but he just because let's keep it 100, right? There's a lot of people in the church they're evil as hell,
Yeah.
but they
Oh, yeah.
but they're they're the ones who go to church every single day, but they're bad human beings. So just because you have a religion doesn't necessarily mean that you're a good
Well, I
human
think
being.
it's easier to get on the same page when we're talking about like what do we teach our kids though?
Oh, okay.
like-
No. I
Yeah.
I could get that. Okay,
Yeah,
so,
so I
something
think
you want to
it's
pass on to
also-
your kids, and you don't want to have to
yes.
cause any
Yeah,
make that situation harder because your belief system is gonna.
exactly.
against each other.
It's gonna
Okay.
clash. So
Okay, that makes sense to me. So you want to pass on your values to your kids.
Mhm.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay. What about you, Salah? I know your parents are not as traditional, but do they have like a expectation of what type of guy do you want to date and marry?
No.
No,
No.
so you can be broke and come marry.
I mean, you obviously can't be broke. You can't be hella ugly. But my mom, she never told me like I have to date a Tongan or Samoan or
Yeah.
so Polynesian. Like you have to keep the culture strong. Like in other aspects, yeah, keep the culture alive. But as far as like dating somebody, she never put that pressure on me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But what's like the non-negotiable? Like I know you say he can't be broke. He can't be matangeli. Okay.
No.
What else? Does he have to speak Tongan? Would that matter to you or no?
No, it doesn't.
Does he have to be cultured? Does he have to understand
Yes.
Tawanga Fatonga?
Yes.
Okay.
And also educated. I mean, there are very stupid educated people. Like,
Just don't be dumb.
Have a degree. Yeah. Have a degree.
Don't be an
but
idiot.
Very
Okay, yeah.
stupid. Yeah. Yeah. Just be really educated and, have a passion for
Yeah.
something, not just be a couch potato all day,
Yeah.
say you're going to do this, do that on your own time.
Yeah.
Have some passions.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. I want to ask you guys because I know this is something I do see that's common I see it's common in the Bay Area, especially with the Tongan girls I see. But I see this with a lot of Tongan girls, especially if they have very traditional parents like Daisa.
Mm.
A lot of times it's really hard for them to find the type of man that their parents want them to be with. And what they do is they give up on dating American men and they go back home and marry a fob in the islands. So, I know a lot of Tongan girls are like, they can't find the Tongan guy, the traditional Tongan guy here in America. Because we know in America, a lot of Tongan guys out there in the streets,
Yeah.
it's 2024,
Yeah.
modern dating,
Yeah.
right? So I've seen a lot, especially girls who come from very religious backgrounds, very traditional families. I've seen a trend because I know a lot of girls like in this situation. They can't find that traditional Tongan man culture, but the Lefatonga knows how to speak Tongan, and they give up on dating Tongan American men because most of the Tongan guys here in the Bay, they don't speak Tongan, they don't know the culture, right? And they're not really good at it, especially when it comes to their faith. You know, they may show up to church every single day, but we all know behind closed doors, after leaving church, you know, they're not living the Christ-like life. So a lot of girls are just giving up on that, you know, and they go back home in Tonga and they'll just marry some guy back in the home island in Tonga. So is that something that is that an option for you? I mean, have you guys seen that with yourself, with your friends? So they just, you know, I'm just tired of this American man. I'm just gonna go back in Tonga and find me a Sione back in Tonga and Mali mo Sione.
I mean, I hear that all the time, but I don't know anyone
Okay.
personally who's done that.
Okay. Do you know anybody like that? They just give up on American dating, the American Tongans, and go back to the
No.
islands?
Yeah, not personally. I don't know them personally, but I've heard like a lot of stories, you know, where that was exactly the case, where it's like they call it mo'onofoa, you know,
Yeah.
out here because they can't find anybody up to that standard, so they have to go back to the islands to find
The culture,
yeah, to find exactly what they're looking for, and in most cases it works out, you know, like
I don't think it works out.
well, you didn't let me finish. It works out to a degree.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've seen it, so I don't know any personally. Now, is that an option for me? Absolutely not.
You never go back?
Absolutely not.
Yeah. I know a lot of guys do it. They'll go back and kumi tahini tonga back in the home and bring him over. But I do see there's a lot of girls. Why wouldn't you do it? Why wouldn't you go and mali mutamsi back in Tonga?
Like, because I feel like my mentality is a lot more
Advanced?
like American. I mean, like Americanized.
Yeah.
You know, and so like I just feel like they're like, for me personally, it's just not gonna
Compatible. You won't be compatible.
Yeah, it won't be compatible. But like for like I don't. I'd rather just stay in America. Like worst case scenario, like I'll just stay an American.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, see, the reason why I don't think it's gonna work out long term, because I see this with a lot of girls. And I'm just speaking from my experience, but I know a lot of girls who are they're college educated, very intelligent, and they can't find the Tongan guys in their level, because you know you mentioned before your parents want you to marry a college educated Tongan guy, right? So I know a lot of girls in your situation where you know they want a college educated Tongan guy, but also cultured, knows how to speak the language, and they're just giving up on finding that man, or even if they find that man, but that guy's not serious with them, right? So they'll go back. You know, I'm giving up. Let me just go back and go marry a Tongan guy. The problem with that is, she wants to bring him to come to America, right? But the thing is, American women, you know, you want your man to go out there and work and be a provider, protector, and the thing is, the financial stability here is a lot different compared to the financial stability in Tonga. A lot of those guys don't understand the difference. So they're not used to hustling. They're not used to grinding, climbing the corporate ladder to be successful, to be able to, especially in America. So I know some girls, they brought their Tongan guy home here, but he's not ambitious to go and pursue a job and climb the corporate ladder. They just want to do like the jobs they used to back in Tonga, like the yate.
Because that's what they're used to.
They're used to. So it's hard and they want to push their Tongan man to, hey, can you try this job or try this corporate job or try this opportunity? And it's hard for them because like this is what I'm used to. This is what I'm comfortable doing. And a lot of the girls are like, and then it's hard for them because like they want him to be successful in America, but to be successful in America, it takes American mentality to adjust to today's environment and culture, especially when it comes to the professional level. And I've seen a lot of girls that they married the Sione back in Tonga, and then hey, welcome, we're here in America. Let's build a family now. But I need you as my man to go out there and be successful in America and go out there and be a hustler and go get it. And Sione is like, you know, number one, he doesn't know the language. He doesn't know how to speak English, but yeah, it can be overwhelming. It's a whole new environment, a whole new situation from him. And I think a lot of times that can be an issue. And I've seen the girls who did that, and they're like, you can tell that there's some issue in the relationship. It's straining their relationship.
Yeah.
Because
It's a lot more work for her.
yeah, and then she has to carry it, right?
Mhm.
Because she understands she's the more ambitious one. She has a degree, so she's making most of the money, but then she has to also take care of the kids, and he's just just working with the other Tongan jobs, or he's just working yate, or most of them just go work at the airport, which is much more easier.
Mhm.
But they're like, man, I just want my man to be successful in America and go out there and live the American dream. I was like, well, they don't have that mindset.
Oh, yeah.
So they're not used to paying taxes. They're not used to paying all these things. They're not used to, going out there and being
You have to learn a lot. And
yeah. It's a
more
culture
work
shock.
to-
It's a
yeah.
culture shock for them, and we're always gonna go back to what we're used to. And a lot of these guys just want to hang out with my Tongans, my Tongan friends. Especially if you live in a city that's no Tongans out there, that could be hard for them. But I have seen it. I've seen it where they bring the Sione back from Tonga, and they push Sione. Okay, you're John now.
Yeah.
I need John to be successful in America. And then he's like, I'm just Alan guy. So be careful. And I'm just saying, like, be careful, because I know be careful for bringing these guys over from
The islands.
the islands. And also this has always bothered me, but for some reason they think that Tongans in Tonga are more morally good compared to the Tongans here.
Oh no. Good, bad exists everywhere.
There's this I guess there's this idea that the Tongan here in America, they're gonna waste their time, but the traditional Tongans in Tonga, they're raised morally right. They're always gonna be faithful to you. I was like, I don't know if
I don't know
you.
about that.
Yeah, because some of the stories you hear from back in the island.
yeah.
I hola koi mo to oa.
And that's what I'm
It's
saying.
like,
That's what I'm saying. No, but that's the biggest challenge I've seen. Like, a lot of the girls, they'll give up on the Tongan guys, but they'll go find a Tongan, Samoan or Tongan back home, and try to bring him here, and then want him to be successful in America. And then a lot of those guys are not used to it. They're not used to the cultural shift and the life shift, especially the duties and obligations you have to fulfill now living in America compared to back in Tonga. Tonga is just chill. You just work your arbigi uta, work, make sure you toho manioke, mo,
yes,
and then you go home.
lots of work.
There's no taxes. If the children are taken care of, there's no need to build generational wealth. Like, you own your house, you own your family. You don't need all those ambitions to do. You're good in Tonga,
Yeah,
but you can't do that here in America. You struggle. You got survival mode.
like and even just mentioning that, like, I think one of the things, the blessings with being in the islands is, like, a lot, like, the land actually belongs to the people, and so, like, they don't have to like, rent somebody else's, the government's land. Like, that's totally, like, they don't have to do all of that.
Yeah.
So it's a privilege,
Yeah.
to a certain degree.
Unless the only way for me to see it work is unless the guy has he has that mentality, like he wants to come to America and make a difference in this life. So if you find a guy like that back in Tonga, then that can work.
Yeah.
Right. But most of the guys I know, most guys in Tonga, they're just used to what they're doing back in Tonga.
Yeah.
It's really hard to transition. But there are a few guys. I mean, that was my mentality when I came to America. I saw America as like the land of opportunity.
Right.
So when my family told me he moved to America, I was like, yes. I watch the movies, American Dream. I was like, go out there, make things happen.
Mhm.
But that's you don't really see that with most of my Tongan. I don't really hang around my Tongan friends because they have different goals in life, what they're trying to do. But most of my friends are just outside the culture. But I do see, like, most Tongan guys just hanging out with other Tongans, and do the same thing every single weekend, partying with the same people, fight Kava and everything. Yeah, so if you're a girl that was trying to go back home, but I get why a lot of girls do it, because at the end of the day, nobody wants to be alone. So your choices are limited. Like,
Good excuse though.
I don't know. No, I think that's why a lot of girls do it, because there's a biological clock. So especially if you want to have a family, so a lot of girls hit 30, 35. They're like, I gotta make a choice. Find an American guy here, or let me just go and find a Sione, come out with family, and then hopefully I bring him over here, and something happens, and he becomes the man I always want him to be. But it's hard to transition into a different country if he doesn't have that mentality to be successful here in America. So unless you don't care about that, but the thing is, for a lot of girls who are very college educated, you want the guy to be in the same level, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know if you guys see that with your friends, yeah, or no. Oh, so for you, you would never do that, right? You would never go and marry.
I would never.
Go to.
No, I'd rather be a nun. Okay. I would. I have no problem waiting for Jesus.
Yeah. Do you guys go back to the islands a lot, like back home?
I've never been.
You've never been? What about you, Daisa? When's the last time you went back to Tonga?
Oh, years ago.
Like what? How long?
I was 8, I think.
Oh, okay.
8 or 9. So
Okay.
it's been a minute.
Do you plan on going back soon or no?
Yeah, maybe to visit, but not anytime.
Oh, okay.
soon.
I was wondering if you guys went back home, like, because then the guys will try to holler at you, you know, back in home in the islands if they know you're from America. Visa,
Right.
citizenship.
Free visa.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay.
jeez.
So never. So so for you never. What about for you? Is that never, or you're entertaining if you go back to the islands one day? No.
Mm-mm.
No.
No.
No. Okay. Okay.
Straight like that.
we keep it going. All right, appreciate you guys. Hey, what's up, Teoki Moonga? Hey, good to see you. I do appreciate you. Yeah, it's been a while. I haven't seen you in a while. Teoki Moonga, good to see you all the way from New Zealand. Yeah. Let me know what you guys think. Any questions? Any topics you guys want us to discuss? I do appreciate you guys, but oh, let me see what Teoki Moonga said.
Worst experience ever. She said worst experience ever.
Yeah, for me, that's what I'm saying is I think if you want to date a guy back in Tonga, I think it only works if you go and live there.
Mhm.
Like if you want to go back in Tonga and live there, then go find like the Tongan guy in Tonga. But if you want to, and when I say live, I'm meaning like you want to live a good life, like very not the struggle, but you want to live a very good quality life. So if you want that in Tonga, then I don't think that's a problem because you can go out there and find a guy that's used to living in Tonga and you guys can make it work.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to find a guy from Tonga and bring him over here and you're asking him to adjust to the American lifestyle and live a good life, which means, you know, you want to live a good, very financially good life.
Mhm.
That's a hard ask because you need a guy with a certain type of mentality, the work ethic, the drive, the ambition, and he's not afraid to make the changes and adjust to America. So it's rare to find, you know.
Yeah.
Now, if you're just looking for a normal life, like the normal Tongan life, just find a guy, just works out there for the rest of his life, or works the airport for the rest of his life, and you guys just barely survive for the rest of your life, and you're content with that, then maybe it work for you. But I think most of the girls I see that have a college education, they're very ambitious, right? They're not willing to settle for what they experienced growing up, and they want a better life than their parents. So they're looking for a partner that has the same type of mentality and ambition and drive for them. But a lot of times the Tongan Sione is just like, hey, I'm just Sione, man. Just
Yeah.
I was at Uta last week, and you want me to go find a job, apply for application, and go to LinkedIn, and you want to. These are like, I don't know what I'm doing. It's hard. It's a hard ask. Now I want to do this is I know this is gonna be the controversial topics, but we brought it up before. But what do you we all know about the Fahu system, right? So we all know the Fahu system. So this is a question somebody asked, and I wanted to bring it up for you guys. What do you if you date somebody that has their Fahu is an asshole and is a diva and it's toxic, and then of course the Fahu is always the auntie of the your dad, right?
Mm.
The meitanga, the auntie, right? The meitanga. So if you say you marry you marry your husband, your future husband, and then his auntie, his dad's sister, she's what's the Tongan word? She's bully over him because
Achy.
she's achy over him, right? That's the word to say. So in the Tongan culture, when you have children, you have to ask her what's the name of the kids, right? Is that true? If if you have kids and the Mikdanga has to,
Yeah,
does the Fao has to tell you what the name of your kids are? Is that fact check me, the Tongans that's watching this right now? My culture understanding can be I'm not really I think that's true. If that they have Aki over your kids, right?
Yeah.
And in the Tongan culture, Aki means like their kids can just slap your kids in the face and you can't do and your kids can't do anything back. Like that's the extreme version, but they literally can. Aki means that.
Yeah.
Aki means they can, they can do whatever. You can do, yeah. They have authority over you. They can do whatever to you. You can't you can't go against them. So, but yeah. But what's your thoughts on that? If you marry a Tongan guy and his fahu was a diva, asshole, and toxic, would you be okay with him with the fahu come over to your house and to your family and just Aki over you and just being toxic and mistreating you, your kids, but you can't do anything back because she's the faho. And then you have to give koloa to her and contribute towards the functions and everything. Would that be an issue for you, or would that be a problem for you?
That would be a big issue for me.
Yeah.
I can't deal with that. I'm blessed to have an awesome fahu.
Yeah.
But I know there's very toxic and petty ones out there. Just because they have that title,
Yeah.
fahu. But I don't right now I couldn't deal with that, but I like down the line if I really love that person, I'll see. But
Yeah.
that is a deal breaker for sure.
It's a deal breaker.
Yeah.
Okay. What are you, Dysa?
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I don't think I can, stomach like disrespect from a faho. Like I don't care like what your rank is or whatever. I think like to be respectful is something that is expected at least to be given to everybody, and I think it's like it's good to treat other people. I think just because you are faho, like that doesn't mean you get to step over people, and you have the right to do that or mistreat other people or the kids. I don't think that's something that should be allowed or tolerated.
Yeah.
So for me personally, absolutely not. Like if
Yeah.
I have to cut you out of my life, I absolutely would. I have no problem doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it's toxic. Like people like that you can't have around in your life forever because they're always
Yeah.
going to have some drama to give me to. Yeah.
Yeah.
So absolutely not.
Yeah. The faho is always the that's always the elder sister of the brother, right?
Yeah, but from the same parents.
From the same parents, right? So aren't you the older sister?
I am the oldest. Yes.
So, but all your siblings. Oh, well, I mean, your biological siblings are all sisters. All you guys are all girls.
Yeah. So I have two younger sisters, right,
Yeah.
on my dad's side.
Yeah.
Right, and then on my mom's side, I'm the youngest.
I'm the youngest. So,
Yeah.
so you have a older stepsister.
So I have two older sisters and four older brothers.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
No, I was just saying in like in a situation where if say it's all girls, then there's no faho, right? Because all girls, it has to be the children of the male,
man. Yeah.
the man, right? Oh, okay, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's yeah. My faho's who's my faho?
Backtrack.
Yeah, and that's well. There's two fahos, right? One from your mom's side and one from your dad's side, right? Is that true? Wait, yeah. Wait, no.
No, I think it's just your dad's
Fahu's
side.
just dad's
Just the
side.
dad's side. So oh yes, yeah. So faho is just your dad, older sister. Oh well, yeah. So we only have one faho. Okay, yeah.
And then if he has like other siblings, it's just the McDonald's.
the McDonald's. Oh, okay. All right. So yeah. I've seen some bad fajos, but I think for me, we have never had a problem with the fajos. But Also, we did talk about the sisters already, right? If the man can't stand up to his own sisters, then that's a deal breaker, right?
It is.
That's a deal breaker.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, some find out after they're married,
Yeah.
and some are able to leave, or another situation happens and they leave, but
Yeah.
it's too late for some.
Is that something that you guys like consider? Like, if you would you want to meet the siblings and try to figure out, make sure that they're? I mean, not the siblings, but is that something you want to do? Is like, okay, before I marry you, like, I want to meet your family first, so I can make sure we get along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Because I think it's like, especially like within the culture, like you want to be able to marry that family and be able to get along with them. I think at the end of the day, the goal is you want a peaceful household.
Yeah.
And they call it, you want Iva que Melino.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
And so naturally, like, you want it to be a peaceful gathering, not want to cat fight all the time.
What if he doesn't want you to meet the family? Say he's like, you know what, my family's toxic. Let's just get married and you don't have to meet my family. Would that be a red flag, or you just trust him?
That
Okay,
would be
I trust
a
you.
Red flag.
Yeah.
That would be a red flag because it's like, okay, but like how? Well, unless he's one of.
Like, say he's a good guy. Like, he's a good guy. You guys are in love, but he's just like, I know my family and they're toxic.
Mm.
So I just don't want that toxicity to affect us and what we're trying to do. So you don't have to meet them. It's okay.
Yeah.
Let's just focus on us. Would that be an issue?
I think personally, for me, I would still want to meet the family, even though that sounds crazy. I think I want to have that own opinion for myself, not just go based off what he's saying. I want to meet.
But don't you
them.
trust him?
Mm,
Don't you trust your husband?
I don't even think it has to do with that. I'm more so thinking like if we were gonna have children, I want the children to know their grandparents and their family. And
Yeah.
so it's like I can't just like
Well, he's saying like they're toxic. He's like, look, I know my family members better than you.
yeah.
They're not good people. So let's not bring that to our life and to our kids. So your family is good, but I'm telling you right now, like, my family is not good.
I feel like
Would you just trust what would you? And he's like you said, he's not a bad. He treats you well, loves
Yeah.
you.
I feel like I'll trust him, but it's like, okay, then, but there still have to be a meeting someday. There has to be a meeting someday. No meeting.
No meeting.
Oh Lord. Well, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah,
He's
yeah.
my husband. Well, hey, listen, you make the calls. I guess we're not meeting your family.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we'll just focus on your family. Yeah, just focus on our
it's
family.
kind of sad though, don't you think?
Well, I get it. Well, if there are some families who are just toxic and there's a lot of drama and there's a lot of bad blood between the family members, and he just doesn't want to bring that energy over to you and your children, start something new. And he loves your family. Like, he goes to your family side and he loves your family. He just understands like his family is not
but if you meet them, you don't really have to keep them in your lives, right? You can just meet them.
But he doesn't want you to hear, like I said, he said there's no point of meeting them. Like, just don't.
Oh, so he himself cut the family off.
Yeah, he cut him off. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like, he cut the family
That
off.
makes sense.
Yeah, he cut them off because
Gotcha.
they're just toxic.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, okay.
Yeah. It's not bad, Yeah. Yeah, I know people like that. Their family's not the best family, and a lot of abuse going on in the family. So they're just like, I just don't want to bring you to that.
Yeah.
Let's just focus on us.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Okay, that won't be a red flag.
Yeah, that won't be a red flag. If he cut them off, like I was assuming that he was still involved with them, but he just doesn't want you to get involved with them. But if that's the case that he cut them off, then,
Yeah.
that makes sense. That's not a
Okay.
red
So
flag.
the only way it would work is he has to cut them off. And he doesn't do anything. He has nothing to do with them, and he doesn't want to do anything with them. And then he just want to focus on you. But if he didn't cut them off, say he still meets his family, but he doesn't want to bring you over, that would be different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, so
that would be a red flag.
okay, so if he cuts him off, it's okay.
Yes.
But if he tells you don't meet my family, but he's still with them, like meeting with them, hanging around with
Yeah.
them, then you'd be concerned, like, why you don't want me to meet your family?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
That makes sense. Maybe you might meet the other family. Okay. That may be the reason. Meet the host, the second and third family.
Yeah, and the juniors and the
No, I know a grandma, a Tongan OG that died, and then everybody came together for the funeral, and then everybody met their other sisters and brothers.
Mm.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Oh,
I was like,
player.
Yeah, I was like,
okay.
I didn't know you. Who? Where's this? I was like, this guy. I was like, oh,
He took that saying literal.
yeah, all the other families.
Multiply.
Yeah, when he died, all the
Multiply.
families, all his like second or third or fourth families came together, and
That's crazy.
all the stepsisters and brothers finally met each other for the first time. Only at the funeral. Oh man, that was crazy. But
Awkward.
I'm gonna play this video. I saw this video on TikTok. Let me just play it real quick. Let me go. What do you guys think? Let me see if I can find it. There's a guy who was talking about dating and things you need to know when you date Tongans. Let me see if I can find it. Is this the one? Nope, that's not the one. It's the other one. Okay, let me find it real quick. Let me know what you guys think. So I gotta download it. There we go. Oh, a question I want to ask you guys: what about the fight Kava? What if you're he's into fight Kava? Is that a deal breaker?
Jeez.
Is that,
You go, sis.
is that a deal breaker? If it's in he likes to fight Kava every weekend,
Every weekend?
every weekend.
Every weekend, yes. Well, I don't know. I mean, he can go fight Kava, but when it's like a
I mean, do you who here has a deal breaker where he cannot, if he likes Kava, fight Kava every weekend? No, I can't do it. Or are you guys okay with him fight Kava every weekend?
yeah, I'm okay with him going fight Kava, but
Okay.
I don't know about every weekend or
Yeah, I think that's probably the like, what does it have to be every weekend? Like, but my thing is like, fight Kava is okay. You know,
But you know, he's reasonable. Like, look, this is the culture. This is what men do.
but there are
We
also
fight
priorities.
We fight Kava. Well, what I'm saying is he fulfills his priority. Like he does what he's supposed to do
Okay.
as a family. But
Mhm.
on the weekends, he's gonna go with his boys and fight Kava every weekend.
That's a tough
I mean,
one.
I don't. Oh, I think.
You know, it doesn't affect his responsibilities and duties.
Mm-mm.
But every weekend, he's like, I'm gonna go with my boys and fight
I
Kava.
can't do it every weekend.
I mean, you do that when you're single. You know, if you're single, go ahead.
But is it? But
Every-
would you accept the culture, the cultural reason behind it? Look, it's part of the culture. Like I'm doing a cultural thing. We go fight Kava with the Metangata.
Yeah,
What's your problem?
You have there's a culture and there's also your duties as a husband.
But I'm saying it doesn't affect his duties as a husband. Like he's
Okay.
like he's goes to work, pays his bills, treats you well.
Yeah.
But every weekend he's gonna fight
So
Kava.
he fulfills all his husband duties. And
Yeah. He does it.
Okay.
But every
Well,
weekend he's gonna go and fight Kava.
Like,
Would that be a?
and
Would that
that's
be a?
his- Well, because here's the thing. If that's how he's brought up, right? So if this is, how he's brought up, I totally understand. Like, yeah, you can go and fight Kava,
Okay.
every single weekend, as long as you're doing what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
But that also includes quality time with your wife and kids. Okay.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, if you already fulfilled that, go ahead.
Is there gonna be like rules on how he behaves in the fight Kava? Like if
He's a grown man.
okay, I'm
Yeah.
just saying like the type of fight Kava he goes to, the type of kalapu he goes to.
Mm.
Some kalapu, they got some pretty doors in the kalapu. Would you go and take a look at the Kalapu he's gonna be at, and then the type of doas he's around?
mean, I feel like for me personally, I feel like if he's a grown man, like he's gonna make his own decisions when he's out there.
Okay.
And so I trust him.
Okay.
Right. But here's the thing, like you make your own decisions and pay for the consequences of your decisions. So if you decide to go with the thought, it's like, okay, that's you. That's between you and God. I'm not gonna Yeah. So but I trust him.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. You wouldn't tell him, hey, don't flirt with the doa and stuff like that?
No, that's up to him. That's between him and whatever's going on in that scenario. If you go in the weekend, I don't want to hear about it. I'm not involved in it. I'm with the kids. I'm doing my own thing. You know. Yeah.
Oh wait. So you wouldn't put some boundaries on how he fight Kavas?
Well, because he's a grown man. He needs to know these boundaries already, right?
Well, I'm just saying.
Like-
I mean, wouldn't you want to communicate? Hey, look, I know you fight Kava, but if you flirt with the doa, like this marriage is over. Like just give him a lot. Like
Yeah,
make sure you.
It's a given.
Well, sometimes you gotta.
For some, it's not.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
you say it's a given, but there's a lot of Tongan guys
Yeah.
doing that right now, and their wives haven't put that boundary. They just, it's just a fight Kava. Oh, that's fine.
Well,
Cool.
Okay. Well.
But hey, look, if you want to fight Kava, that's fine. But I'm letting you know right now. I find out you flirt with the doa.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Then that's okay. Well, I mean, I guess if he lacks that much sense, then I would have to obviously set some boundaries, you know. But otherwise, it's like you're grown. You should know what, you know. But yeah,
Okay.
I
What-
guess I'll communicate the boundaries.
Okay.
But I trust him.
You just trust him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. And the type of kalapu he goes with. Yeah. I think you have to be. I've just seen some. I think the kalapu, but I've just seen just. There's certain kalapus that I know. I know girls. I know girls personally who are doas, and they get paid a lot of money.
Mm.
I think if you go to a good kalapu, but I think if you gotta check out the kalapu, see what type of kalapu it goes to, because there's some kalapus they throw a lot of money at the girls, and I think if it's the type of kalapu you're throwing money at the girls, I think that's usually the type of kalapu they may be risky, because why you're tipping this
extravagantly.
more money, why you're giving him her $100 tip,
Right.
it's like
Yeah,
just be
I know
careful.
what you mean. Mm.
No, because I know girls will do it they say it's good money. Oh, I made like $1,000 tonight,
Mhm.
and that's why they love doing it. And then so I'm just saying, but that's that type of kalapu. Some kalapus don't do that. Like
Yeah.
you're just there, be the doa, serve. But I know a guy right now that his kalapus were very traditional, and they just focus on talanoas and
Mhm.
make sure they figure out solutions to help men get better.
Mhm.
They don't tolerate none of the flirting with the doas. If you're married, they see you do something, they'll just escort you out and look, go, don't come back again, like go home. But he said,
that kalapu.
I know, but he said that's the only one out of all the kalapus that do that.
Mm.
So it just,
I know a kalapu that does that as well.
I'm just saying, I've been to some kalapus. I'm just saying, every single kalapu I went to, I've seen a married man talk to the doa
Mm.
Yeah.
or attempt to flirt with the doa,
Mm.
and everybody just puts their shades on.
Yeah, if you're my boy. Yeah.
Tahiva. Everybody just pretends like they don't see nothing. And I was like, I've seen, and I hate to say it to make our culture look back. The Faikava is a beautiful thing, but in my experience, every single time I've been to that situation, there's always a OG, there's always a married dude talking to the doa, flirting with the doa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Every single, I've never been to one where everybody was just behaving morally. Like never. Like even now, if you're single, do whatever. If you're a single guy, but I'm saying, David, that's my boy David. David, you know what I'm talking about, David. You know what I'm talking about. I'm just saying. I think the only one. Oh, let me correct myself. The only ones I saw that was good was when they fight up at their own house.
Mm.
So yeah, because sometimes guys will just fight up at their own house, and then they'll just bring their boys over, but there's no doa because you're just at the house.
Right.
But the kalapus, they have doas.
I know a Galapu. I mean, they're in a little warehouse.
See,
but they don't-
Davis, look at that. Old heads are doing. See, I'm telling you, every single kalapu I've been to, it's always happens.
Old heads.
There's always an OG or some married dude, some high ranking person in the church, talking to the doa. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm telling you, like, just be careful, because if you're marrying a guy that goes to these type of kalapus, I've seen it. But we all know, everybody just everybody just, we're all blind to it.
Mm.
What's that saying in Vegas? What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. That's the unwritten rule in the kalapu. What happens in the kalapu? No pe kalapu. What were you gonna say?
No, I know of a Kalapu. They're like in a little warehouse, but they don't want a doa. They don't. Like if another Kalapu comes over and they forgot together and they have a doa, okay, but they set boundaries. But that Kalapu, they don't have doas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That can work. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, don't be naive.
Yeah.
Just
because it doesn't happen there.
Yeah. I'm just saying. Yeah. I haven't been to a club, but I've never seen it. It always happens. We just pretend like we don't see it.
I'm about to go home and draft the whole rule list.
I'm just saying. That's what I'm saying. Is if he's going every weekend, that for me, I'm not saying that's. I'm just saying be careful. I'm just saying do your due diligence and double check yourself and make sure the boundaries are set.
Mm.
Now, if it's a guy that just goes once in a while, then you have to worry about it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. But there are some Tongans, they'll go every weekend or every other weekend. They go multiple times in a month. You're gonna have to put some boundaries on that and do your work. Don't just assume that and be naive that nothing happens in this.
Yeah.
They're Tongans. That's my husband.
Mm-hmm.
I trust him. I trust the friends he's with. Especially one of the things they'll say. I'm around church members. I'm around other guys who are married. I'm good. We're all married. Yeah, those are the guys that flirt the most. I'm just saying. I've seen it. I've just seen it. So. Did that change your perspective on that?
Oh, absolutely. I'm about to go home and draft the whole list of boundaries.
All right. Do you guys have? Don't you guys know like couples who are like they're the husband or like the hardcore Kava drinkers and they go every week or every other week?
Yeah.
You
No,
don't hear
those
anything?
Stories, no, I do.
Yeah.
I do
It's a real
hear
thing.
about those stories, and the wife is going batshit crazy trying to figure out what's going on between her husband and the doa.
And also, I think you should put some time. I think it should be a reasonable time when you spend it drinking kava. But I know guys who like drink all the way to the morning and go home like at like 6 o'clock, 6 in the morning, or 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So I think that's for me that's a lot.
That's too much.
That is.
If you go for just go in at the night and go back before midnight. But I know some kalabas, they go all the way to the morning the next day. And then the wives are like, yeah, well, where are you at? Go for your I know one wife. She drove to the kalapa and dragged him out. I've seen that happen before.
Geez.
Yeah, hardcore like that.
Yeah.
So
that is sad.
and get caught up with she walks in and she knows he's talking to the door. So I'm just saying, just be careful. I think there's a lot of things just being a lot of our traditions being influenced by Western society and culture and the flirtatious thing. Yeah, just be careful. Be careful. I've seen it. But what do you guys think, Celia? Everybody that was watching this right now, what do you guys think about the fight Kava?
And the doas.
And I'm saying, the doas, man. The
doas are fine. It's just the men that be overstepping.
No, I don't blame the doas. The doas gonna do what the doas gonna do.
Yeah.
But I think that's what I'm saying is it depends on the caliber of the club. So there are some doas who are very traditional, but there's some doas out there. They're just finessing. They're gonna finesse these old dudes. She be making money. Those are the ones you have to worry about. And I don't blame them. They're just trying to make money.
Get your bags.
Get your bag.
Get your bag.
Get your bag. Like I said, if you're married, it's up to you to have boundaries and make sure that you you stay to it. It's the doa is gonna do what the doa does, especially if it's they're trying to make money. You know, they're gonna say whatever they're gonna say to get you to tip more. So just be careful. But there are some more Tongan. I think in Utah, there's a lot of girl clubs now, all girls.
Oh yeah, one of my auntie's friends, she
Goes to an all girl club.
yeah the
Yeah.
what do they call it? Her last name Sitake.
Yeah, yeah.
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 Shout out to her.
Would that be a red flag if he likes to go to the all girl club?
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Yes, because why are you there?
Yeah, morning.
Why?
Like, yeah, morning. Why are you going to the all girls? All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys watching the entire stream. Appreciate you guys. Phil, good to see you. Thank you so much. Hey, good to see you guys. Yeah, we're just having conversations, what's it like dating as Tongans, Samoans. We talked about a lot of different topics tonight. We talked about dating outside the culture, dating expectations. I have a controversial one I want to ask, but I don't know if you guys are open to that.
Ooh, go ahead. Shoot us.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Because I've seen this happen to my own family member. I want to ask you guys, is there going to be a problem if you bring somebody that's black?
You go.
I
Sis.
can speak from experience.
Like African Americans,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I brought him home and everything was fine until afterwards.
Yeah.
One of my aunties pulled me aside and was like, "Why do you want to date a black person?"
Yeah.
Not because he's black, but he's not poly. Where she's like, it's easier if you date someone of the same culture. You have the same morals and values, and it's just easier. I was like, yeah. But also some of the OGs, some are really racist.
Yeah.
Especially towards you dating a black person.
Yeah.
And I always tease my grandma. I'm like, oh yeah, my boyfriend's black. She's like, why?
Yeah.
Why are you dating a black person?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, never mind.
Yeah, they're very, very like ignorant.
Yeah.
Like very ignorant mindset. Like I think like especially if you're coming from like a super traditional family, it's like, their mindset is very old school. So
Yeah.
like they'll have a problem with like, I asked my mom the other day. I was like, what if I did an African American? And kind of the similar response where it's like, it's better to stay within the culture just because of cultural understanding. But like I know like the OGs, and I also have a cousin who married an African man.
Yeah.
And it was like a cultural shock or like a shocking thing, right, for my family, or at least like the older folks, right?
Yeah.
The younger folks, they're like welcome to the family. Like, they still roast and like joke around like the same they would do with anybody else. But it's more so the OGs because their mindset is just ignorant and like old school,
Yeah.
right? And that's just what they know. But yeah, point blank, like there's still racist thoughts there.
Yeah.
And I think also if they had a bad experience with a black person or whatever race outside of the Polynesian culture, they just already have that set for that person that you're bringing home.
And do you find it that they're more open? They're more open to dating Palangi compared to African Americans, like white people.
Yeah.
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 Like if you brought a Palangi, if you brought a Palangi a white guy home, he's gonna be more accepted if you brought like
not even
somebody that's darker.
Not even bring him home. In terms of the conversation, they would suggest that
Palangi.
that you date like a Palangi guy,
Yeah.
right? Versus like a uli uli guy.
Yeah.
And it's but then again, it's like ignorant mindset.
Yeah.
And so, but you can tell there's a bias.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of colorism that goes in our culture.
Mhm.
They want to keep the taukili hinihina,
Yeah.
lighter. You don't want your kids to have darker skin,
Right.
so they'll encourage you to go with the lighter.
Colorism.
the lighter. You
Yeah.
know, so if you're a little bit darker, they're like, oh, you know, you're ugly compared to the girls who, or the guys who are the more light skinned.
Mm-hmm.
So I do see that with I do see that, especially with the OGs. They think
Yes.
they think about that stuff. You know, I've heard that like, hey, alam palangi ke hinhina
Yeah.
ho fa now.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you know, your kids be lighter,
Yeah.
more prettier, they look better.
Yeah.
So
So ignorant.
no, I've heard it. I've heard it, and it's unfortunate where you see a lot of the kids today adopt that mentality. I've heard girls like, yeah, I'm gonna keep the hina in our family, you know. Oh, and guys, well, I never heard the guys say it, but I've heard Tongan girls who are very hina, Talabo too, but they don't want to. They want their kids to keep that same skin tone.
Yeah.
So they want to marry a guy that's lighter, that's more fair skin or lighter, and they don't want to marry like a dark brown, dark skinned Tongan. So I've seen it. I've seen that type of mentality.
Yeah.
I hope the OGs, like, you know, I'm not making an excuse, but this the old back in the day, it is what it is. That's how they grew up, right?
Yeah.
So us on this generation, we're more intelligent, we're more educated, so we understand that that doesn't affect our how we judge people, right? But it's sad to see that even younger people adopt that mentality because it's being conditioned into them. But I've seen it, I've heard it, like, you know, you know, just because I've seen some. Look, I won't be honest. I've seen some girls ugly as hell, but they
I know. Immediately you get like multiple points.
Yeah.
No, I've seen it. I've seen some girls that, like, everybody, they say the style of wall. I'm like, is she style of wall? She's just in the.
Like, are you sure?
I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, she has good skin, but
It's not good looking.
it's still.
Yeah, the face is something else.
Yeah, I've seen. Sometimes like, oh, Maui.
With that mata, it don't match. It don't match. Oh no.
No, I've seen there was I've seen her like you know, the hina, but there's like, damn. Oh man, it's hilarious. It's hilarious. No, I'm just saying, I've seen it. It's shit, man. You've seen it in the time when you go to the Tongan families and functions.
Yeah.
And you hang out. If you just listen to the auntie conversation, man, they'd be
All day.
what loud, man.
All day.
I'd be getting picked on by my own grandma.
Oh my god. No, it'd be your own family
Your
that
own
roasts
grandma.
you. Okay.
Yeah.
No,
Like, your own family don't give a shit. They don't
no,
care.
no. I've seen it where if you as long as you're in the hina, you're good. Like nobody's gonna, even if you're like conventionally ugly, but people will still give you points for being, you know, attractive. But man, it's hilarious, you know, because I remember I went to this one function. Tahina came out, you know, all the talunga, right? Talawo, but from the far, I was like, oh man, talawo, see.
What happened as it got closer?
The closer was like, oh, it's just hina. But yeah, it's just not that good looking.
The
But
mata is something else.
the skin, you know, gives you makes it look good. Makes
Yeah.
it look good. And I've just seen it. I was like, oh yeah, way, got that. Has that happened to you with the guys? You know, see them, you know, fair skin, and then you're like, oh, talabo, and then you got closer, like, oh yeah, way,
Hella ugly.
oh yeah, way.
Where he is light skinned? Or is that what you
No, yeah, like you saw him from a distance, like, you know, hina, and then you saw, oh, talabo, hina, you know, but then. Do you think the hina? I don't think. Do you think the hina matters more to the girl or to the guy?
More to the girls.
Yeah, because I've never heard the girls. I think the girls don't really care about
Yeah.
the.
I mean, some girls do. Like, they don't prefer like a darker person. But
No, I've just seen it where, like, with the girls, there's more emphasis on the color of her skin to be considered pretty. For the guys, like,
yeah,
if you're a good looking guy, they don't really care if you're brown or white.
Yeah.
Like, you're good looking, you're good looking.
More,
Do you think it's more emphasis for the girls?
it's
Yeah.
more emphasis on the girl. you know, and I think it's because it's mostly women who makes these judgments.
Oh yeah,
Right, and
yeah.
they will judge other women too based on their looks.
yeah.
And it's like you never hear Tongan men or Polynesian men talk shit about colorism.
Yeah.
You know, or like say anything
For us, it's
about
like
that.
either you're ugly or not. We don't really care
Yeah.
about
You
your
don't
skin
really-
color.
It's mostly
But most Monigoy,
yeah.
most of those comments I've heard comes from the aunties and the women
Yeah,
about
so it's mostly
the uli uli or hinihina.
you know, and I think it's just we have like a very generational hurt with women.
I don't know.
when it
Yeah,
comes
that's
to
true.
beauty.
The color, the color emphasis is more. I've seen it like more for the girls. I've just never,
Yeah.
I just never heard somebody say that he's ugly because he's darker.
I have.
You have?
Yeah, a few times.
Well, I'm saying he probably does. But I'm saying it's not as common as I hear
Oh, yeah,
compared to
yeah.
the girls.
Right.
The girls I hear.
Yeah, the girls.
Like I know a girl that Talavo,
Mm.
pretty, but she's dark skinned, and most people wouldn't consider her Talavo
Mm.
because she's very dark,
Mhm.
very dark. And I've seen her, and I'm like, are you guys blind? Like she's up, I can see like, man, she's Talavo, the
Mhm.
features and everything, the sino, but it's just because she's darker. There's a lot of the OGs who say not
Yeah.
Talavo, and a lot of unfortunately a lot of the guys are like, nah, I don't want to. She's ugly. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, she's hella pretty. But no, I think it's more emphasis of the girls.
Mhm.
And I think the more the girls are more accepting. I think the girls like, I think girls don't mind a guy a little bit darker, a little bit brown.
Mhm. Yeah, they don't.
They don't really care. They don't really care. But I think the guys, I've heard the guys like, oh, wait, talabo because we hinda wigili.
Mm.
I've heard guys say that,
Mm.
but I've never heard the girls like, oh, I like I guess the girls would find it more attractive if the guy's more brown or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
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 You know,
Yeah. Well, for me personally, I think some melanin.
yeah, like you want some brown, want some melanin in there, right? You don't want him
some
too light skinned,
melanated- Yes, please.
right? You prefer guys brown compared to like two hinina? Like, do you prefer like a little bit melanin?
Yeah.
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 If you find a guy like, because you're pretty fair skinned,
Mm.
right? If you found a guy that was like more fair skinned than you,
If I find a guy more fair
Yeah, than you.
I just don't find that attractive.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. For most girls, you find guys more darker, more attractive
Yeah.
compared to guys like I think for guys I've seen them, they find the girls more lighter attractive.
Mhm.
So it's different for
Yeah, but
the
I
women.
think it just, it comes down to like their individual preferences. But
Yeah.
like personally, I've always found men with melanin, like, or slightly melanated or like, darker skin
Yeah.
more attractive
Yeah.
versus like someone my color or lighter.
lighter. Okay, all right. Do you have any from your family? Do you have like roots from European?
I won't be surprised, but I think we have like Scottish roots.
Yeah.
Oh,
Usually the Tongans with like fair skin like you. Usually there's like a European descendant.
Mhm.
Like my sisters are very fair skinned. But I remember one of our descendants was from Europe, something like that.
Mm.
That's why that's how that started the fair skin trait.
Yeah.
But because naturally Tongans weren't fair skinned back
No.
traditionally because we lived in the islands, we were exposed to the sun, so we were naturally dark until the Europeans came to the country and
Mhm.
colonized, and then we started that. So yeah, but no, that's I'm not saying like I just realized that today is like from the guys they find it more attractive when the girl's lighter, but then when I listen to the girls, they find the guys more attractive if they're darker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the girls who are light fair skinned, they want to find a guy that's darker. And then the guy that's dark skinned, he wants to find a girl.
Like,
He wants to find the lighter skinned
Yeah.
girl. That's
I don't know where that actually stems.
I don't know where that happened. I don't know.
I don't know if it's like European influence, in terms of like during colonization, but
Yeah.
I don't know where it stems from.
Yeah. But if you grew up but I would say if you grow up this is one of the harsh realities of being a Tongan, but if you grow up in a family that's hina and then you come out dark,
Mm.
must see, you're gonna have
yeah.
laut we going.
You're like the odd one out in the family.
I know, because I have one of my cousins. She was dark when she was born, and then because my family's pretty fair skinned, and then they just called her Foikulo, like a pot.
Yeah.
The
The
pot.
gulos,
The-
gulos, the
Yeah. What's the one? I can't remember the things they use.
Ifisi.
Oh yeah. The Gulo one I remember. They just call it, "Hey Gulo, how good?"
That's so mean.
It's like Gulo just means the pot, you don't know when we burn the pots from the bottom because we use fire, it's black.
Yeah.
So we just
Yeah.
it's for a long time I thought her name was Gulo. Until I got older. I was, that's not her name.
That's so sad.
Oh, poor thing.
I know she's traumatized from that.
I was like, oh man, we're just exposing everybody with the Tongans, but that's just
Mhm.
Tongan Samoans. I'm just saying this is what this is growing up as Tongan Samoans, but yes, we've come to the end. Thank you so much. All right.
Mali.
All right. I appreciate you guys for coming in. And we've come to the end of the pod. Yeah, I wanted to do a podcast for this weekend. We just wanted to focus on what's it like dating as Tongans and Samoans. So I appreciate you guys watching the entire stream. I saw some faces that I know you guys subscribe to the channel, but it's good to see you again. I know Salote. It's good to see you on the podcast. And I know a lot of you guys watch this from IG. I saw some people watching this from IG. Let me see if I can find you. But good to see you guys on IG. I do appreciate you guys. So a lot of you guys were watching from IG. I do appreciate it. We were just talking about just the realities of dating Tongans and Samoans. I think a lot of the things that we go through, I think that's a lot of cultures face that, especially with the colorism. That happens in all cultures.
Yeah.
The colorism, but I think there's some things that we go through as Tongans, so we just wanted to talk about it and discuss it. We had some girls that were supposed to be here, a lot more girls, but if you're watching this right now, but thank you so much, Daisa, Sala. Thank you for coming and making the time. But good to you guys. We talked about everything. So if you just started tuning in right now, I encourage you to go back to the replay and watch the entire stream. We covered a lot of things. We covered the Fahus, the sisters, dating guys back in the islands, financial burdens, Gavengas, dating people you're related to. We didn't even get to that one where people are just dating each other even though they know they're cousins. What's that thing that what was that one trend that went viral back in the day with the Samoans? What was the name of the it was a video that went viral with Samoans. It was the cousin they were dating they were doing something with each other.
Oh, Gyuna?
Gyuna, yeah, the Gyuna one. Yeah, Gyuna.
Yeah, sharing with the cousin.
Yeah, don't be a Gyuna,
Yeah.
by the way. Don't be that guy. Don't be that person. All right, but I've seen it, man. I've seen it where the guys will go to a family reunion and like, oh my god, that's my cousin.
Right.
I was like, yes, stay away from your cousin. I don't have to. I shouldn't have to tell you, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the audacity to want to go and get her number.
I'm
for
like,
me.
hey, Toko, first cousin, Masi. Damn.
Freaking A.
Oh my lord. Damn. There's a big pool of other women, man. It's like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
But it happened. It's a reality. I've seen it.
Mhm.
It just some men and women just don't care.
Mhm.
But I think eventually we're going to have to date outside the culture because we're just such a small community,
Yeah.
especially in the islands. Everybody's dating each other, marrying each other now. At some point, like you have to go out.
Diversify.
Diversify. Like, we're all gonna be related at some point. If we keep marrying each other, we're all gonna be related. So you have to venture out. Somebody has to go outside and bring some new blood into
Diversify the genetic pool.
the genetic pool. Yeah. And we also talked about we definitely also talked about when you have to bring somebody, what happens when you have to bring somebody that's ugly to meet your family, because you're gonna get roasted. That was the one that was requested by somebody. Can you please talk about that? I have an ugly boyfriend, but I'm afraid to bring him to my family because they're gonna roast him, and I don't want him to get discouraged and and you know,
And
Yeah, don't
peace.
be discouraged. Don't be
You know.
discouraged. Well, most of the time families are gonna have their fun roast session, but if you're a good catch, you're a good catch regardless of the face.
but I think it's also a good test if you can find somebody that can handle the roast.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, this is a keeper.
Mhm.
They
Right,
can handle my family's roast and still stay
right.
with the relationship. But that's a solid one.
Mhm.
You know, if they can take that, then you're good.
Yeah.
You're good. I think sometimes as as family members, we find respect. Oh, you took the roast, you came back. Okay,
Yeah.
Welcome.
respect. But you're still ugly.
Oh,
but you just gained a little bit of my respect. But come on.
oh.
I think you start to earn respect if you keep coming back, and they're like, okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
you ain't weak, okay, right?
Yeah. I'll have a chocolate.
All right, but yeah, we talked about everything, but I'll pass it back to you guys. What's your final thoughts on tonight's conversation, and how can they find you? How can they find you here? I'll start with you, Salah. First time on the pod. I appreciate you for coming. First time. Final thoughts and how can they find you? Shout out to Salah. Oh, shout out to you, Salah.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed just everything that we touched up on. It definitely opened my eyes to some topics that we touched up on, and I'm gonna carry on the conversation with other people as well, and get their input on each subject. And then find me like social media wise.
Yeah. How do you find you?
You find me on Instagram _Tuitama, Tuitama.
All right. You're single.
And I'm single.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you so much, Salah. Always thank you for making the time and coming down. I'll pass it to you, Idaisa. We had a great conversation tonight. It was fun.
Yeah. It was nice. It was nice.
Final thoughts and how can they find you, Idaisa?
Yeah, final thoughts. It's always amazing to have these conversations, and shout out to Will. Yeah, I know you don't talk about it much, but just the work ethic and the consistency it takes to run this podcast is seen and appreciated, and delivering that value. But yeah, great conversation. I think this is a nice little, I guess onset of topics just to talk more about dating in the Tongan culture. And so I absolutely enjoyed it. You can find me on it4is4 at Instagram, Idaisa Sigwe on Facebook. Check out It's Corner on Facebook too if you want to check out some of the products.
Oh, wow.
Get your healthy life on. But yeah, thank you. Ofat Kamotor.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you, Daisa. Thank you so much, Salah. Hey, I'm very curious if you guys don't mind. I have a request for you guys. Can you ask the Tongan people to watch this episode and let me know what their opinion is?
Yeah.
The things that we discuss. Is it true? Not true? What's their feedback? I would like to hear, especially your parents. I don't know if they're gonna watch this, but you're just
see.
Yes. See what is. Because I know they have high expectations of you. So, like, what's their feedback if they watch our conversation? And it may be something that they want to consider because they got to hear the unfiltered version of us just discussing about
Right.
what we think about their expectations. So, or they still want you to marry that dream, that mystery man, that dream Tongan man out there. Let me read out the list again.
Oh wow.
This is for this is the man that Idaisa's parents wants to marry. You have to be Tongan. Speak Tongan. All right. So you gotta be Tongan. You gotta speak Tongan. You can't be broke. All right. You can't be broke. Bachelor's degree. All right. You gotta have a bachelor's degree. Christian. All right. A real Christian. All right. Not the
Yeah, nope.
not the Valikaka, the real Christian. All right.
Yep.
Christian faith, lives a Christian lifestyle, and he can't be ugly. All right, so you have to be Dalavo as well, Matalele, but the Matalele. So if that's you, that's what Idaisa's parents looking for.
Yeah.
And if you're watching this, Idaisa's parents, Do you believe that person exists?
So Jesus, I will be waiting.
Do you believe if that Tongan man exists?
Here, and you
yeah.
have to go find this.
Yeah, I haven't met him yet. It has all those qualities. Oh man, good luck to you, Dyson. Good luck to you. Have faith.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
the force is strong. You know.
Lucky, lot of my yeah, pray for me.
Lot of my guy, Dyson. All right, but yeah, if you meet those criteria, definitely reach out. But we had a great show. Good to see you, Celia, Tilki Mo'unga, Salote. A lot of you guys were watching this. It's good to see you guys again. I have Big Munchies. I've never seen you here on the podcast before, so shout out to you, Big Munchies. Thank you so much for watching this. But also, I just want to let everybody know this is based out of San Francisco. I would love to have more of these where we talk about our experiences as Tongans. So if you're watching this right now, hey, David said that's him. That's my boy. I know him. That's my boy.
Oh.
Wait, let me fact check you, David. Tongan, yes. Speaks Tongan, yes. He's definitely not broke. I know David is hardcore. He's a go-getter. Yes, he went to college. I don't know about the Christian. I think he's Mormon. Would you okay with being him Mormon?
Is that Christian?
No, he believes in God, But
okay.
Mamonga.
Yeah.
Would you believe in Mamonga?
I said, you believe in God?
Yeah, believe in God.
Sure.
And damn, he's ugly. And I was joking. No, he's not ugly.
Like that.
No, he's not. No, he's not ugly. Yeah, he's actually a good-looking dude, and he played football, so he's good. He's tall, good shape, solid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do
Do you want me to set that up?
Text man.
David.
We'll see.
Hey,
We'll see.
David. Text. Reach out to Idaisa. And he's my boy too. I'm gonna put him. I'm being honest. Like he's
No,
He's good.
man.
Hey. Oh, let us see, David. Let us see, David. Be confident, man. Be confident. But I know he's single. So reach out to him.
Oh, good looking.
David, just
Yeah, we'll be waiting for
David
the
doesn't hurt.
wedding
David doesn't hurt to shoot the shot. Just doesn't hurt, David. Doesn't hurt. I'm just saying when you guys, if something does happen, I need 10% for. All right, but yeah, thank you so much. We had a great show. Thank you so much. But good to see you, David. A lot of you guys on the live chat. But yeah, I would love to do these more. So if you're watching this right now, if you're watching this right now, you're from the Bay. From the Bay Area, and when you're talking Samoan, Fijian, Polynesian, Pacific Islander, it doesn't matter, and you want to come on the pod and do future ones where we all come together as Polynesians and we just talk about our experiences, definitely reach out to me. I would like to we got to run this back in the future one and then bring more people.
Yes,
Yeah, so I think I enjoyed this. You guys are down?
Yeah.
Run it back.
absolutely.
Yeah, we'll make it happen. Yeah, I think I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this conversation. I think I like to talk about our experiences just being Tongans and Samoans. So we're probably going to make this happen a lot more. So, and also Celia, Telki Mo'unga, Salote, a lot of you guys, if you guys got some single cousins out here in the Bay Area, they want to be part of the pod, please reach out to them. Do me a favor. If you love this show, reach out to them in the Bay and tell them, hook me up. Tell them to come over and reach out to me so we can set this up. And we can probably do this probably once a month or something. We just come together and it's fun. I enjoyed it. Just having our conversations.
Yeah.
We speak our tongue, and then and the way it was fun. And the way we fuck up.
Yeah.
The things that we only
Like
Tongans know what we're talking about. So I've definitely appreciated it. But yeah, don't forget, like and subscribe. Support them. Support these girls as well. But yeah, we'll definitely make it a plan where we can reach out to more Tongans, Samoans out there. We can make it more consistent and be part of the pod. But see you guys next time. Everybody have a great day. Everybody have a great night, wherever you're tuning in from, which part of the world. And don't forget, this is a virtual show. So if you want to jump on with us, I know some of you guys from Celia, Teokimaunga, Salote, I would love to you guys to join us virtually. Yeah, you can join us and be part of the conversation. Become a supporting member of my locals. The link is on the description on YouTube. And when we have this the Polynesian one on Saturdays, you guys can join us and you guys can talk add-ons from conversation. I would love to include you guys for not from the Bay Area. You know, it's always good to hear from other, especially you, Celia, you're from Canada.
Oh.
Yeah, so I would love to hear what's your experience, you know, being a Tongan girl, dating and living in Canada. You know, because I know a lot of them live in different parts of the world.
Mm-hmm.
I know one girl, she lived in Saudi Arabia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's a Tongan girl. So I know there's a lot of, you know, we're all spreading out. I mean, yeah. So I would love to hear. So if you're living from a different country, I would love to include you in a conversation just to, you know, see your perspective. What was it like growing up as a Tongan girl living in a foreign country?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that'd be interesting to hear. So yeah, if you want to be part, if you want to do that virtually, to become a supporting member of my locals, and then you'll be able to join in virtually, and I'll be able to put the link, and you can join us. But nevertheless, thank you so much for a great show. We had a great time. But see you guys next time. Ofatu, Vatue.
Afato.
Peace. All right.